can swim. Just can't walk or dress myself. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Salute, and welcome. Welcome back to the Black Ocean. Now, so we're getting deep in with your host, the one and only Great Black Shark. What's going on, family? What's going on? Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear in the chat room. Give me a black fist, a thumbs up if the audio is coming in clearly. I'm actually testing something out, and I want to get your feedback on to let me know if you can hear me clearly. And salute to my first sergeant, some chick named Star for the cash out. People showing love already. Thank you very much. Thank you. Want to make sure that y'all can hear me loud and clear. Hold on, let me check one more thing here before we get underway. Okay, that looks good on my end. Okay, I'm saying y'all can hear everything good and clear in the chat. Good deal, because we're about to be cooking with hot fish grease over here tonight. Oh, yes, we are. Let me tell you something. Bundles, as I have called her, and she has many other names. Shout out to my good brother, Black Alpha Network. He calls her Ratchet Crockett. And one of my cousins call her Jasmine Crockett bullshit. Oh, man, she has plenty of names. Yes, she does. Okay, and tonight, we're going to be looking at some facts about Miss Bundles, because let's just go ahead and let the Democrats know that we see her. We get it. Commandment failed. Okay, you tried a little pretend pseudo black woman to come out there with all the goofiness, but she was dumb as a box of rocks. And I told y'all, I'm one of the few people that said it with Kamala Harris, that the Democrats, you know, especially the white women like Nancy Pelosi, etc., they pushed her out there, I honestly believe, to crash and burn and get rid of her politically, because she is done. She's not going to be governor nowhere. You think that woman finna be governor of California, you crazy as hell. Okay, that's not going to happen. Yeah, she's done. Okay, it's over. So the Democrats went back to the drawing board and they said, okay, we need a new political crash test mammy. And they've selected Jasmine Bundles Crockett, okay? Because, you know, I'm going to say this to you, Democrats. If you really think that you're going to run this woman for the presidency, or you think you're going to run her for any type of significant political role, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, because the problem with the Democrat Party, you still haven't learned. Y'all know, and let me state it at the onset of the broadcast, I'm not liberal nor conservative, okay? I'm not Republican nor Democrat. We stating facts. We all saw the outcome of the election, okay? The damn near the whole country flipped red because the Democrats' ridiculous policies with, you know, open borders. You got the Skittles community policies that they have where they allow them to target kids. We just got to call that what it is. Then they're going to tell you that if your child come home because of all their indoctrination, that your child feels like there's something else, that they can go and get a surgery without you having to sign off, or just all kinds of nonsense. Okay, drag queens reading the kids. They want women competing in and men competing in women's sports. Okay, whole bunch of nonsense. Okay, not to mention on the geopolitical aspect of things, just giving all our money overseas over there. Biden's boo thing, Zelensky was one of the main recipients. Okay, because I keep telling you, you know, he was shilling our cash over there to him as if he was a stripper. All kinds of foolishness. Okay, so now when you look at that, Democrats, the problem in your party, and y'all, if you follow me on X, you saw me mention this. I posed a question in the form of a challenge on X, and I said, could you name 10 Black American men that are straight of non-immigrant background in the Democrat Party that have been out front for the last 10 years advocating for Black American issues? Man, boy, nobody, the Shillbillies did not come under that post. Let me tell you, boy, I said, you know, I'm going to wait a couple hours, I'm going to come back and look. Because it was a good faith question. I wasn't trolling. I was like, okay, let me see. Is they going to name anybody? Maybe we missed something. Nobody could do it, at least as last I checked, because I checked it again before we came on this stream here. So I'm like, you know, see, this is the thing. When it comes to the Shillbillies, a lot of people get aggravated at their goofy trolling. All you got to do is hit them with the truth. That's all you got to do. Because nobody can come out there and say that there's a straight masculine Black man. I'll even do you one better. Find me a straight masculine immigrant Black man in the Democrat Party that's the spokesperson out front as much as you see Bundles Crockett. See, Democrats, this anti-male, anti-masculinity thing that you got going on in that party, plus the rest of your policies, America isn't feeling that right now. And I'm not just talking about Black America. I'm talking about everybody across the board in our community. We're not with that. And you keep on doubling down on the same things that lost calamity race. Okay, what's finna happen? You're going to get that ass kicked in the midterms coming up in 2026. Because see, here's the thing we're going to tell you over here in the Black Grassroots. We are all out front of Jasmine Bundles Crockett. We see that y'all positioning her to be the new front mammy. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that our people over here are abreast of all the tomfoolery that has come out of her mouth and all the things that she has said and the things that she does not stand for. We know what she stands for. She puts blue over her community. Okay, now a lot of people have said that they wonder what her background is. I've seen some people online that say they actually do know her family and that she is FBA. She's actually from St. Louis, not Texas. So, you know, either way, whether she was non-FBA, FBA, whatever, she's not for our people. We know that. And we're going to prove that here tonight because let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. If you're a Democrat shillbilly, oh boy, tonight's broadcast is going to hurt your feelings. Oh yeah, this is one that's going to be packed with facts and we're going to examine things from the A to the zero over here on this because some of this, and if you've been paying attention to any of the foolishness that's been coming out of Jasmine Crockett's mouth, you will have heard her say it. Everybody will know, especially if you a long-time subscriber to this channel. Everything that I'm going to show you is not going to be made up. It's not going to be fabricated. You will have heard her say this, but we're going to scrutinize this tonight and some things that you might not have seen because by the time this is over, I'm going to tell you something. I want this particular broadcast to be a lesson to Black women. Let me talk to my sisters of my lineage especially. I'm going to present this broadcast to you tonight. And whether you agree with me, disagree with me, I'm going to teach you from the standpoint of why most men like myself try to warn y'all about trying to click up with them folks. And every now and again, you might have a white chick that you think she all right. She ain't like the rest of them. No, you don't. Dr. John Henry Clark told us we have no friends. That means all of us. There's no exceptions to that rule. Okay. So I'm going to present this lesson tonight from the standpoint of showing you what happens when them folks boost your head up and your ego gets carried away for the women that this applies to. Because most women over here don't have that problem. But just in case somebody catches this on the playback, maybe it'll give them some food for thought and they'll actually pause before they become a useful idiot and a tool for these demonic Democrats, and then they break you. Mark my words, tonight I'm going to show you why they're setting her up for failure because notice, let me ask my audience a question before we get started. How many white women have you seen standing alongside Jasmine Crockett while she's running her mouth and rolling her neck and batting her little eyelashes and flipping bundles everywhere? How many white women have you seen standing right beside her? That's right. I stand with Jasmine Crockett. How many white women have you seen? Oh, we're gonna get started early with tonight, and I'm gonna prove everything that I'm telling you now. Because see, what have I told y'all for years over here on this channel? Anytime you in them folks system, okay, in this system of white supremacy, when you see them putting a Black man or woman in a position where they, you know the term, the first Black whatever, and ain't no white people competing with you for it, the tether class and some silly Negroes in our lineage, they think that, oh man, I must be special. Oh, look how much they like me. No, if them folks ain't fighting you for it, that means behind your back, dumbass, white people have said, hey, don't none of us want to fall on this sword. Hey, we hadn't let a Negro have it. Let's put that silly ass over here. Let's go ahead and boost one of them head up and put you over here because they're positioning you to take the blow when most of them have said, hey, this is a bad look for a white person to have to take this blow. You understand? Oh, yeah, I'm going to prove it tonight. I damn sure am. So Bundles is the crash test dummy they've designated. And it's a very cruel joke because she don't see it coming. And it's sad because if you look at what happened to Kamami, they set her up the field because I keep telling people, with Kamami in particular, do you really think that white women across America, I don't care what their political leanings are, the one thing that united white women, and I told y'all this is going to happen, the one thing that united white women was like, this little half-breed bitch made it to the vice presidency before a full-blooded white woman. They don't give a damn about that white husband. That wasn't helping. Oh, man, them white women was furious. And see, the thing about Becky, she could be furious to the point where her face is turning red, but she'll hold it in. Becky is strategic. especially when it comes to manipulating the halls of power. Oh man, I told y'all what was going to happen, and you saw how they voted when they came out. There was a lot of egg on a lot of faces. The Shillbillies was quiet. And then when it finally sank in, that's when they jumped out talking about, oh, I'm with the 92%. We just gonna mind our business. Like, yeah, we tried to tell your dumb ass. You didn't listen. And salute to the good sister, Sakina Collins, for the cash out. Thank you very much, my good sister. We tried to tell them, family, they never listen. So tonight we're gonna show, after this broadcast is over, that if you one of these idiots out here that think you separate and apart from Black America, okay, you're going to see why that's not wise, because I'm going to give a reminder here about something Jasmine Crockett did that I hadn't seen nobody else bring back up. Mark my words again. Save the date on this broadcast. When, not if, when it happens, you're going to be like, damn it, you said it was coming. I'm telling you, it's something that she did that she's forgotten about, but we're going to get to it. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and greet my esteemed guests before we get underway here. Let me scroll up and see who I see. All right, I see Charlie Ace in the building, Hot One, Patricia Jenkins, my brother Bruce, Priscilla Taylor. I see Stun Zed in the house, my brother Seven Scales, Kevin Blackwell. Let's see Diesel Mike out there on the highways and byways. I see you, brother Tanisha Murdoch. Let's see Derek Parker, Only Pamela's Way. Project Leroy, what's going on, brother? DSA 1 is in the house. Let's see who else? Theater of the Absurd. Let's see, make sure I don't miss anybody. BX Boss 456, Charles Gibson is in here. Black Truth United, of course, my good brother. Kermit S. Wingfield, my battle buddy, what's up? Let's see, who else? Sakina Collins, of course. My sister Just Asked Shar, the nice and one of the sweetest people on YouTube, Shar Willie. Miss you over here, sister. Glad you showing back up, man. I hope all is well in your life. Let's see, who else do I see over here? Mrs. L, salute to you and your husband. Dad Miller TV is in the building. And I think that's everybody. So salute and welcome to all of you and anyone that'll be joining us in attendance over here tonight. So fam, we're going to go ahead and, get the sponsorships out the way. And then we're going to get cooking with hot fish grease, because tonight, after we come back from, getting our little bit of levity on, we're going to teach a lesson that Miss Bundles Crockett seems to struggle with about, United States constitutional law. And the irony is the heifer is a lawyer. We'll get to that a little bit later here tonight. Let's go ahead and get started.
In this video, we'll talk about the difference between somebody who is undocumented in the US and somebody who is here illegally. Oftentimes, people confuse the two and put everybody in the same group. First of all, when somebody is in the United States undocumented, that means that person entered the U.S. illegally in the first place. Somebody that either jumped the fence or were smuggled in here or somehow found a way to enter the U.S. without the proper documentation. And as a result, he's currently living and residing in the U.S. without documents. We call these people undocumented. As opposed to somebody who came here on a visa. So you could be here on a tourist visa or a student visa or on a work visa, and then somehow you lost your status. You lost your status because you lost your job, so you couldn't renew your H-1B visa. You lost your status because your tourist visa expired and you didn't renew it. You lost your status because you fell out of school. Those people were legal at some point, and then they overstayed their visa because they never renewed it. At the end of the day, the undocumented person and the person who is here illegally, at the end of the day, they're both here without authorization because they don't have the proper visa. If somebody here is undocumented and then they meet a U.S. citizen, they want to marry them, they can't just fix their paperwork so easily. They will have to eventually leave the U.S., apply for some sort of a waiver, and then come back even after a marriage. But if somebody is here illegally, they, let's say, overstay their visa, and then they marry a U.S. citizen, they could easily fix their paperwork in the U.S. without leaving, and then all their overstay period will be waived. And I often do this analysis whenever I see a client who is without status. We're trying to determine how we can help them. That is the first thing that I do. I try to analyze whether they are here undocumented or they came here with a visa and they just overstayed. And of course, based on that analysis, we'll determine what we can do for them. Hope this video helps. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and share this video with somebody that cares. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.
He said he was.
Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, it looks like I didn't load the sponsorship, but hey, it's all good. We gonna get straight into the listening. Salute to the good brother Black Truth United for the cash, y'all. Thank you, my good man. But since we're straight off into the lesson, you heard that, right? Okay, you heard that breakdown. Now, even though that immigration attorney tried to do it in a roundabout way, let's be clear, both of those statuses are illegal, okay? You overstay your visa, and you call yourself trying to kick it over here, hey, you become an illegal alien at that point. All right? Definitely, if you hop over this border without authorization and you try to sneak up in here, that's illegal too. That's against constitutional law. Now, I want you to remember that because, see, when we get dealing with Miss Jasmine Bundles Crockett here, that's going to be very important. So before we do, got a couple other things I want y'all to check out. Pay close attention to what you're about to hear next.
Going to focus on those violent offenders first. So is violent offenders no longer the predicate for these people to be deported?
The president has said countless times on the campaign trail, I've been with him at the rallies, I know you've been there covering them too, Peter, that he is focused on launching the largest mass deportation operation in American history of illegal criminals. And if you are an individual, a foreign national, who illegally enters the United States of America, you are, by definition, a criminal. And so therefore, you are subject to deportation.
Of the 3,500 arrests ICE has made so far since President Trump came back into office, can you just tell us the numbers? How many have a criminal record versus those who are just in the country illegally?
All of them, because they illegally broke our nation's laws and therefore they are criminals as far as this administration goes. I know the last administration didn't see it that way, so it's a big culture shift in our nation to view someone who breaks our immigration laws as a criminal, but that's exactly what they are.
All right, now did everybody understand old Pam Pitbull Bundy there, okay? I think Pam Pitbull Bundy was quite clear in her explanation about what the orange man's mandate is, and being that she's the top cop in the nation, the attorney general, you heard what she said. You can't make it more plain English than that, okay? Because that's the truth. Once you hop over here without authorization and you attempt to stay, especially when you try to evade and definitely if you try to come over here with false paperwork or what have you, you are a criminal. Yes, it is a crime. Now, I think we all established that, and I'm showing you all this for a reason, okay? Showing you this at the top of the broadcast because it's going to come back in handy later when we analyze Miss Bundles Crockett, okay? The former attorney, okay? Because I don't know how she passed the bar exam and is feigning this type of ignorance. It's embarrassing. Okay, but we're going to let the Democrats know that she's not going to be placed as a representative that gets us to run over there and start voting Democrat. Democrats, let me say something before we get started cooking even further. I don't think that these people have really let it sit in just how finished they're on their way to being as a political party. I'm going to tell you, Democrats, the same thing we tried to tell you in the black grassroots ahead of time. Your only saving grace at this point as a political party is to stop the cooning and buffooning, to actually listen to your base, which is Black Americans. We've asked you to do reparations. You played in our faces. You didn't even consider us for an anti-Black hate crime bill. You don't even try to give us lineage-based programs. You try to come back and be disrespectful and play in our people's faces when it comes to reparations, thinking that you're going to make it race-based, knowing that you're setting it up to be shot down in the court system, okay? We see that. You're not going to finesse us. And I'm going to warn you, I'm one of the people that have coined this term. You're going to receive political punishment. You are due that. The more that you try to play in our faces, the more the political punishment tax is going to be, okay? Because, see, you know me, where I'm at with it, I've told you, it is my mission in life to see to it that that party crumbles to the ground. It needs to be completely dismantled. It needs its figurative knees broken to the point that it has to crawl on its belly like a maggot that it is, because it's been responsible for such malevolent neglect to our community, okay? That's how, yeah, that's how I really feel about the Democrat Party. Yeah, those are my thoughts on it, in case anybody was wondering. So if any idiot ever tries to pin me as a liberal, boy, you know they hadn't watched my content. Yeah, let them hear that soundbite. Okay, now for the slow pokes, that mean he MAGA. No, doofus. I am not loyal to either political party. I am in the political middle. My loyalty is to my lineage first. Voting is a business transaction, and our vote should be up to the highest bidder in exchange for policies and a good old-fashioned bag, the American way, okay? That's where my standpoint is on politics. So I reiterated that a couple of times here tonight, and it's in the bio of this channel. My viewpoint shall not change on that. But family, we're going to review something else here that is really going to infuriate you, but we're doing this not to make you angry. We're doing it to educate you. So we're going to give you a refresher course on where some of these folks, you know, these elected officials that have decided to act as rulers instead of public servants. We're going to refresh you on their standpoint on these sanctuary cities because, you know, last time I checked, you know, and I'm not the guy that thinks I know everything. I need to ask a question. Black folks in my chat room and white folks, because maybe the white folks have some information we don't have. Maybe they might decide to be benevolent tonight here and share this information with us if it's hidden. So we'll see if they do that from an ally standpoint, if they have such information that I'm about to ask for. Is there anyone in my chat room listening to me that knows where a sanctuary city is for Black Americans? Can anybody tell me? Feel free. You don't have to be a citizen to answer either. Okay, maybe you're someone outside the country and maybe you come over here because, you know, Tilted Class, they like to educate us on things about our nation, our lineage. So maybe there's someone that can tell me where there's a sanctuary city in America where we could go if the federal government or federal law enforcement was after us and, hey, they're like, hands off. These are special Negroes over here in this utopian paradise of sanctuary for the Negroes. Where do we have that, family? I would like to know where this place is. I'm trying to locate it because, you know, we need to find this place. You know, I mean, a lot of people in here, nobody's saying that they've heard of this, right? Okay, because I just want to make sure because, you know, I mean, the people that we're about to review, boy, they sure are fighting hard to make sure non-citizens that don't pay taxes over here, okay, illegal aliens, they're fighting hard to make sure that they have them, okay? So I just wanted to check with my chat room in case I was off base on that. I want y'all to listen to this, and I'm going to let them get a little ways in before I chime in and point some things out.
The mayors of 4 major cities in the hot seat on Capitol Hill today for a hearing about so-called sanctuary cities and policies that limit cooperation with immigration and customs enforcement. As Erica Brown reports, the hearing comes as President Trump continues to make the mass deportations of immigrants in the U.S. legal illegally a cornerstone of his second term.
Do you solemnly swear?
The mayors of New York, Denver, Chicago, and Boston testified before a House committee Wednesday where Republican lawmakers railed against so-called sanctuary city laws, which limit local cooperation with immigration and customs enforcement, or ICE.
Sanctuary cities make us all less safe and are a public safety nightmare.
Republicans argue the city's policies regarding undocumented immigrants allow dangerous criminals to go free, but the Democratic mayors push back on the idea that their cities are less safe.
The sanctuary city classification does not mean our city will ever be a safe haven for violent criminals.
Migrants did not bring a wave of crime to Denver. In fact, crime went down.
The mayors contend the policies, which are at odds with the Trump administration's mass deportation agenda, are necessary to ensure undocumented immigrants can report crimes and access services without fear.
Now, let me pause this right here before we let these treacherous Democrat mayors continue with their lies and their dishonesty, okay? Now, family, first and foremost, I played you the definition from an immigration attorney, and you heard the Attorney General Pam Bundy, okay, or Pitbull Pam as I call her. You heard her make it quite clear. Once you violate the constitutional law of the United States and cross over here illegally, you are a criminal. Now, I agree with that assessment. Now, you hear in the news media, because you know most of the news media is liberal, okay, most of it. They keep trying to use the term undocumented. Now, what did we learn earlier in this broadcast, family? If you're over here and you're undocumented, this means you don't have a United States birth certificate. You don't have United States ID of any kind, okay? You don't have a record of live birth. on top of that, to go with your birth certificate, you don't have any of these things, any of these identifying things that you would have over here. You definitely don't have any property in your name or anything because you're not a citizen over here. You're not undocumented. You're illegal. See, to me, when I hear people trying to play verbal semantics like that, I equate that to the same situation as if you're dealing with the kaleidoscope community and they're trying to have you call a man a woman. I'm not going to play with you like that. You a man, okay? Now, this is what I'm going to call you. Now, I'll call you by your name or whatever, but I'm not going to let you play with my mental cognition like that, okay? It's just not going to happen, all right? Because at that point, now I'm aiding and participating in your delusion, and that's infectious. I'm going to keep my mental status and clarity very healthy when it comes to those particular issues, and I'll apply that to the same term when it comes to playing games with the term undocumented. They're illegal. Look, if you did what they did, let's make it simple for the shillbillies that's in their feelings, that's probably going to hear this and go all to pieces and cry blue tears, okay? If we, as American citizens, went to any nation on this planet and did what they're doing here, we would be illegal aliens in those nations. Illegal, not undocumented, illegal. See, this is how you know that someone is not for righteousness or honesty, justice, when they start trying to play word games and remix stuff. Well, it's not illegal, it's undocumented. You know the games that verbal gymnastics they try to play with several things, even with deletion of children, okay? All right? Y'all know how they try to reproductive health. How when you taking life away? No, call it what it is, punk ass. You believe in killing babies, huh? So see, you notice the Democrats, they love to play those games. And you know what I'm saying? The liberal media, they love to play those games where they try to call stuff that is abhorrent by other names. We don't do that over here in New Black Media Spaces. And salute to the good brother Project Leroy for the cash out. Thank you very much, my good man. We don't do that over here in these spaces. We call things what they are, down the middle, as they are, okay? So now, you see these Democrat mayors up here testifying, and listen to the lie one of them told. Several of them told this lie, okay? Crime is down, okay? No, you're not going to tell us that crime is down in these cities where there are hot spots for illegal alien activity. Did we not see in Colorado, they took over a whole entire apartment complex? They've been whooping police officers' ass up there in New York, and notice not one of them got shot 60 times. Notice that? Notice they got arrested and then released right back out on the streets. Boy, it must be nice. Ooh, must be nice. Now, name a black person you know can do any of them things, and they just be cool. They just let them sit there. If black people went to take over a fucking playground, man, it would be a SWAT team out there. They'll be like, oh, niggers, we've been waiting on you to do this. Let alone an apartment complex, and then just be cool. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it? Is somebody enlighten me if any of these things have occurred and I just missed it, okay? So now the lie about the crime is down. I'm like, all the crimes they've been committing, they out here on the blade, you know what I'm saying, throwing, tainted taco snatch and other snatch everywhere, because it ain't just the tacos, it's a whole bunch of them. Just out here turning people's communities into brothels up and down the streets. Look, I'm gonna make a joke, and it's gonna be off color, but I'm gonna tell you, I wonder. And I'm not going to get nobody to tell on themselves. So if you are listening, that's your profession. Don't tell on yourself. Just keep it to yourself. But I'm going to ask a question. I wonder how the American-made Thotty Karate team that's out here on this blade feel about these illegal alien Thotty Karates coming in and infringing on their turf. Hey, boy, because I don't deal in that world. So, it's just a question. Just a question. I would imagine that, Thots have their little turf mapped out where they're like, hey, man, hold up. Who you? Where you from? You know what I'm saying? There's some interesting questions here. So the crime is not down. It is up, okay? It is up across the board with these people over here. And there's a lot of issues going on that, you're not going to be able to tell us that we don't see what we see, because people live in these communities across the nation where they're being affected by these illegal aliens, okay? And you got your sellout mayors up here, Brandon Johnson, you see little peanut head Eric Adams, and we all know the little deal he made. But Eric, and I'm going to tell y'all why I don't give him a pass, even though I understand the political maneuvering that he's doing to make sure he don't have them charges all sending him up the river. Eric, you played ball with him in the first case. Now, you know Eric Peanut Head Adams was a cop, okay? So that lets you know with his mush mouth ass what side he's on. So, you know, I saw when he was talking all big and bad to black folks. I'm like, okay, Eric, if black people have any intelligence, they will hold you accountable because, see, everything was all good until they put them charges on you. Oh, you was with everything that was doing instead of being the mayor that was standing up, him and Brandon Johnson, to say, hey, man, nah, this ain't cool, man. You sending these people up here and it's taking resources away from the homeless people on our community. You could give us that funding to help take care of our homeless problem. None of them stood up and said that in defense of their citizens. None of them. And see, here's the thing. I want you to really watch these sellouts as this report continues. We're going to let it continue here in a second. I want you to really watch how casually they sit up here and play in the faces of Americans. I'm going to say something, man. And white folks, if you're listening, you better take heed to this, okay? Because, and salute to the good brother, Seven Scales for the PayPal. Thank you very much, my good man. But Alabaster America, you better take heed to what I'm saying. Especially if you're in that liberal political class and you're a politician. Do you think that there's only one Luigi Mangione? And I'm not inciting anything. I'm just asking a relevant, logical question. Do you think that there's only one Luigi Mangione out here? Do you? Do you really think that? Family, for years on this channel, I have told you what a white supremacist accelerationist is. Now, a lot of people are like, what the hell is that? But when you've been doing this as long as I have and you study this stuff online and offline, you learn very quickly what they have set up in their minds as far as what they would like to do if there was ever such a thing as any type of major disruption to the government. Basically, for the layman's, okay, or the young that don't know what that term means, a white supremacist accelerationist believes in setting events in motion that leads to the collapse and the breakdown of society as we know it. Thereby, they would use that opportunity to, hey, we're going to go ahead and attack the niggers, okay? So now, to those of them that think that, well, you really think that none of us are not prepared for these things? Because, you know, if maybe you've been around Larry Elder and the Tildas like Myron Gaines too long, okay? All of us are not like that, so you better be careful. But, you know, when it comes to this situation here, like I said, if they think that Luigi Mangione, there's only one, no, there's thousands of him. Oh, there's thousands of him, okay? They're over here. They're over here. And see, I'm going to throw another wild card in this. You goofy liberals that are for these open borders like this. Family, have y'all paid attention to how many foreign nationals are talking about if this country happens to get into a conflict with certain other countries, that they're going to turn and attack America from the inside? See, that's the drawback of being a country where you flooding a bunch of immigrants over here. You really don't think you have any sleeper agents over here? I've never been for that. Now, I'm one of the people that don't mind pissing people off. Am not for it. Mark this down and make sure you record it so nobody's confused. I am not for any form of immigration, legal or illegal. I don't give a fuck who that offends. That shit is not wise. We're the only nation on earth where we have this many foreign nationals over here, and you just let them come over here all willy-nilly, as long as their skin light enough to be classified as white, and then you never stop to think, okay, what about the sleeper agents? What about the people that's over here swinging these foreign flags that don't have any allegiance or hadn't participated in building this nation up the way foundational Black American freedmen have? What about these people that are so willing to run away from home? Do you really think they're going to have any loyalty to America? I've said it before and I'll say it again, and I don't care who doesn't like it. My lineage, foundational Black American freedmen, have been the most patriotic people that this nation has ever seen, goddammit. We are the blueprint of patriotism to this nation in its exact terms. We've never tried to storm the Capitol and cause an insurrection like the January 6th crowd. And when you think about it, we would be the people that would have the most reason to do it if you just look at the way we've been treated in this country, but we've never done it, okay? So I'm just saying, white folks, it's some things you better think about, because you're playing around talking about, you know, there's gonna be a government shutdown. And before I let this continue, let me speak on that. And I'm gonna address this to both political parties. The mere fact today to go to show you that there needs to be a complete overhaul with the political system, not only on the issues we're discussing here tonight, but everything else. When you have elected officials in both parties that are acting as rulers, because they're supposed to do what we tell them to do. That's what our taxpayer dollars pay their salaries for. When you have them comfortable enough to be bickering up there on Capitol Hill like they were today, because I was monitoring that earlier, talking about, well, it's going to be a government shutdown. We don't do XYZ. Who give you the authority to shut down our government that our taxes pay for? They too comfortable saying that. They should be terrified to actually even hint. And they just say it so casually, like, okay, everything going to be cool if you do this. Let me tell you something. I'm going to thread this needle. There are thousands of Luigi Mangionis out here, okay, in their community, okay, them alabaster folks. And you really think that none of them are saying, if you shut this thing down, don't bother opening it up again? See, flirting with anarchy is not wise. So all that foolishness they got going on up there, that's something that's going to have to change, and it's going to have to change from the American citizens by getting these people out of office. Like I said, I'm one of the main people that say it unapologetically. The government today is basically a glorified geriatric nursing home, okay? People literally die in those offices up there. We got to get these term limits set in place. The reform on the Supreme Court needs to be, you cannot be a judge for a lifetime appointment. There should never be any section of the American government, okay, not the executive, not the legislative, not the judicial branch, that there's somebody can get a lifetime appointment. That's insane, man. No, at best, them judges should do 4 or 5 year terms, just like the president or what have you, okay? 4, you know what? Fact of business, 4 years. You know what? That's pretty. 4 years, you know what I'm saying? And then, hey, if you elected again or whatever, you know, or well, they're appointed, a lot of them, but you get what I'm saying, okay? You get my point. A lot needs to change in America to put this country on the right track, okay? A lot of the outdated laws need to be updated to fit modern society. Whole bunch of things. So that's just something for the Alabama people to think about. Y'all better get it together, man, because, I mean, I'll say this. I'm not encouraging it, but you saw how the January 6th morons stormed the Capitol. That would have been the time for them to actually do something like that, huh? If people are talking about, oh, we're going to shut the government down. Oh, yeah? Who gave you the authority to do that? You better work it out. You better do what the American public told you to do, and the majority should rule. Whatever the country is saying, whatever the will of the people in the majority is, that's what you're supposed to do. Because, see, to be honest with you, I got to call it what it is. It's the Democrats that's sitting up here playing these games. Now, you know, I honestly think that they're going to go ahead and get this agreement signed, because last I checked, the funding for the government, I'm going to make a point about that in a second, the funding for the government, the bill has been sent to the Senate. So now it's up to them to go ahead and agree and get that done, you know what I'm saying, to avoid the shutdown on the 14th. But I posit this to you, because you're going to see why this channel is such a troublemaker, and why a lot of these people don't like to have conversations with me on the liberal shillbilly side or the Republican shillbilly side. Family, explain to me, how do we have a government shutdown when you constantly taking taxes from people? Now, let's just say in the event the government does shut down, what does that mean? That you're going to pause all taxes being taken in from the American people? I told you, I'm a troublemaker. I like to make you think. I don't care if I make you angry. I'm not trying to be your best friend. I'm trying to make you think. I'm going to repeat this. Let me reiterate it. If in the event there is a government shutdown, does that mean you're going to pause taking all taxes from the American people? Would that not be a just thing to do? You know what I'm saying? Would that not be a just thing to do? Because first and foremost, how you running out of funding for the government when you steady taking taxes for people? Well, this will fund the government until September. Hey, man, what you mean? See, look, so this is when people play in front of your face and act like you don't have any sense. If you are steady having an influx of taxes from all these different sources, property tax, taxes on your cars, okay, just taxes on the items we buy, taking taxes out your check, tax. What you mean you don't have funding to continue the government? You see what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, boy, I'm going to hurt some feelings tonight, man. Anyway, I digress. I might get too deep with that. I might have to go into further detail about where I was going to go on Patreon. The good brother DSA1 says, we knew they would do that when they flooded the country. That was always a possibility. It was Rottweiler Doberman hair folks that didn't believe. Exactly, brother. You right. You're absolutely right. But see, I want y'all to let that, what I just told you, marinate on your spirits there for a minute. And like the sister Shaw Willie says, it's a 24/7 tax. So what you mean there's no more funding for XYZ things? Where did the money go? You know, as far as on that subject, we're going to get back to listening to this. It reminds me of the joke that Paul Mooney, the late great Paul Mooney, said where he said, hey, listen, every 4 years we ought to go out there and threaten to chop off heads. And they'd be like, hey, put the money back. They're coming. I mean, they play in our faces, man. But bottom line is a lot of things are going to have to change when the next generations take power. Let's let it continue.
Fears cause witnesses and victims to avoid cooperating with police.
A city that's scared is not a city that's safe.
Some Democrats on the committee called out New York City Mayor Eric Adams after the Department of Justice dismissed a corruption case against him, saying the Trump administration is using the mayor for the president's immigration enforcement efforts.
Are you selling out New Yorkers to save yourself from prosecution?
There's no deal, no quid pro quo.
The mayors also used the
Let me pause it right here. Did you see Mushmouth Mayor Eric Adams? There's no deal. There's no quid pro quo. You know what that joker looked like, Eric Adams? Hold on, let me go back to his face. I got to prove my point because a lot of y'all might be like, GPS, you just making that up. Hold on, let me get back on his face here because I want to see that. Family, I'm going to point out what he looked like to me. You remember the Fat Albert show, okay? Well, let me play this because I want to pause this right on his face.
From prosecution.
There's no deal.
Yeah, here we go. So now to me, I'm gonna tell you what that boy looked like. He looked like the older version of the Mushmouth character. You know, the one with them, oh, became a Fat Albert. There is no deal. Because he's a Mushmouth bastard with his little peanut head stuff sitting up here. Look at this motherfucker, man. Yeah, I said motherfucker. If you one of the people that don't like motherfucker, then this ain't the place for you to be. I said it, because he fit the description. He's a motherfucker. All right? Look at him, man. Don't deal. Nah, man, come on, man. We know you cut that deal, and I understand why you did it. If you had any sense, you would just go ahead and flip Republican, man, and help them folks out. Because, look, here's the deal. Because we're going to cut straight to brass tacks. Family, there needs to be laws passed. And see, I don't understand why the white folks in this country, since they're the majority for now, they need to be saying, listen, man, it needs to be federal law that sanctuary cities are constitutionally illegal, okay? Across the board. There's not going to be a such thing as any state that says, I'm not going to cooperate with the federal government, because they cooperate when it's trying to get our black asses, huh? Why these illegal aliens get special treatment and they're not even citizens, huh? That needs to be the law of the land. An executive order would be a good start, but nah, if I was Trump, I'd be like, listen, while we got the majority, we going to fix this. We going to get this done. Because look, I tell you what, I'm finna really cause some trouble, boy. They're gonna really call me MAGA now, boy. They finna hate this, boy. I'm finna piss these people off. If any of you Republicans over here, because I know some of you are probably listening, y'all always in black folks' business, take this black man's idea and get this back to your people, okay? What you need to do is get in Trump's ear, for those of you that have direct access to the orange man, and say, listen, man, go ahead and hold a press conference and talk directly to the American people and ask them how many of them would want a constitutional amendment made, okay? How many of them would be willing to vote to say, hey, let's go ahead and make this a part of the Constitution, that it's illegal for you to have a sanctuary city, and it's illegal for any state, none of this states' rights bullshit, that need to go out by the wayside, and just make it where, yeah, if the federal government say you got to cooperate, then you better cooperate. It is what it is. And that's where the orange man should take it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's where the orange man should take it. But anyway, this little Mushmouth, I mean, he looked like a boy. I got to get back on Eric Adams before we let this continue. Look at this boy. Tell me he don't look like some type of anime cartoon villain or something, man. Look at him, man. Little shiny bullet head. I guess his head starts shining more the more lies he tell. No, there is no deal. Boy, they sure know how to pick their bootlegs, boy. Let's let it continue.
No quid pro quo.
The mayors also used the hearing as an opportunity.
Oh, I gotta stop it one more time. Y'all heard this, boy. There is no deal, no quid pro quo. He sound like a damn goofy, melanated version of Elmer Fudd. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it alone. Let's let it continue.
Opportunity to call on Congress to fix the nation's broken immigration laws. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
All right, so now we reviewed several bits of facts and information on immigration law. We reviewed the people that are stomped down for sanctuary cities and trying to gaslight as if crime is down when they got these illegal aliens committing all types of crimes, okay? Now we get to the attack mammy of the hour, okay? Oh, yes, attack mammy. That's right. That's what she is. Oh, Jasmine Crockett, okay? Look at it. She got the little magic market on eyebrows, you know, the little caterpillar lashes, okay? Heavy foundation caked all on, the bundles all up there, braided up. Okay. This is her. This is the Democrats' designated attack mammy, okay? Yeah, new crash test dummy. Jasmine, you were an attorney, but you would think that you would be smart enough not to be sitting up here thinking that, oh, I'm so special, I'm so smart, because that's what they all think. She ain't even looking at what happened to Command Me. She thinks she's different. And see, that's something that I want our sisters over here to take notes from. Please don't let your ego run away with you to the point that you think, okay, the previous one, oh, that's just her. She fucked up. I'm different. They like me. That's what Jasmine is thinking. Jasmine, ain't no white women really out there beside you. Look at them press conferences and when they get these little sound bites. How many white women you see standing right there? Fact of business, I got a challenge for you. Because she going to keep running her mouth until the orange man smack down on her ass, because it's coming. And you poking fun at Elon. Okay, yeah, keep on. Whether you like Elon or not, he's in a power position over you. I challenge y'all to do this. When she ran off at her mouth and they get these little sound bites on TV, watch the white women that's standing around her. And mark my words, watch them either move out the shot or, you know what I'm saying, they don't have nothing to say and they try to fade back there and let her be the one up front running her mouth. See, this is where running your mouth is a weakness. And we're going to examine why. So we're going to get into some things that old Bundles had to tell us here. And, you know, we're going to be stopping it where need be because, you know, Jasmine, it ain't going to work, baby. I don't know who in the black community you think is going to vote for you outside the hood rat class, because I'm going to call her what she is. She's an educated hood rat. And while we on this, before we get started, let me clear something up. And I'm going to be the one to say this and put this out into the ether. A lot of people got to stop thinking that because somebody have a certain job or a certain position that means they're not ratchet or not a hood rat. Yes, they are. Yes, they are at heart. Yes, they are. Is she intelligent? To a degree. But does that mean she has common sense? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. So yes, it's an act that she's putting on. This woman went to expensive private schools. Like I said, she passed the bar and became an attorney. But does that mean that she's not a hood rat? No. Let me tell you something. I'm not just directing this at Jasmine Crockett. I'm not just directing this at black politicians, okay? Up on Capitol Hill, that's where the most pimps, gangsters, drug dealers, and hoes are. Them white folks, okay? The alabaster people. All this stuff that they criminalize, what you think? Look, watch this. For the people that actually, oh, he reaching. Oh, really? Ask yourself this question. Remember when Jim Crow Joe Biden was in office? Oh, yeah, I know y'all know where I'm going, right? Remember that mysterious bag of nose pleasure, okay? It's a white girl, whatever you want to call it, okay? Becky in a bag, okay? Yeah, remember that? That powdered sugar that they found in there? Nobody knew what. You know, after they found that, you ain't hear nothing else about it. Or a bag of cocaine was found in the White House. And we all know who bag of dope that was. That was Hunter. He dropped by one day and some shit fell out his pocket. And you know his daddy was like, damn, boy, you and your fucking habit. Now I got to clean this up too. Little crackhead, son. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, you know, and that he's not the only one. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't just be Hunter. Everything illegal that you can imagine is going on up there in that White House and on Capitol Hill, okay? See, this is why, too, I got to go ahead and tell the truth. This is why a lot of these bed wenches stay trying to get them a zaddy and get up there, okay? Because they know, okay, oh, man, let the good times roll if I can just get up here. Yeah, but see, Jasmine Bundles Crockett, baby, I don't know what you got going on, but I'm going to tell you one thing. You better hope and pray that during these Doge audits, your name don't come up for any type of funds that look like it's being misappropriated. That's going to be the end of you, baby. And it ain't going to be no you just going to step down from your position. No, they're going to make sure you go to prison. Mark my words. And I, for one, am not going to be putting the cape on for you. But anyway, we're going to get started examining some of Bundles' ideology here. And we're going to see if any of you agree with this. Let's get started.
Is because you can then misuse words like oppression. There has been no oppression for the white man in this country. You tell me which white men were dragged out of their homes. You tell me which one of them got dragged all the way across an ocean and told that you are going to go and work. We are going to steal your wives. We are going to rape your wives. That didn't happen. That is oppression.
Okay, so now let me go ahead and get started with the problem that I have with old Bundles here. Oh boy, you would think she was Jasmine Tubman over here, huh? Jasmine Tubman, Harriet Tubman daughter, huh? Oh boy, she just white man. Okay, since you know all these facts, Miss Bundles, and to my black grassroots young people out here in Texas, if you ever get a chance to respectfully, because you don't want to be disrespectful, if you ever get a chance to question Bundles about this, we're like, okay, Bundles, all right, well, don't call her Bundles, be Miss Crockett, be Congresswoman Crockett, be professional, but I'm gonna call her Bundles over here. Ask her, like, okay, since you seem to be such a brilliant woman as far as recounting the history of Black Americans and the atrocities that we face, okay, you're very astute on this information. You know all about it. You spoke so passionately about all the stuff our people went through. Well, Jasmine, why aren't you talking about us receiving cash payment reparations? Oh, did I go there? Yes, I did. Oh, yes, I went there. I had to. Because if you're going to recite all these things and you know all of this stuff in detail, then where's that same passion advocating for cash payment reparations? Where's that same passion? Even if you say, well, no, she can't do that. Okay, cool. No problem. If you won't do it for that, why weren't you just passionate when they passed that Asian hate crime bill? Oh, yeah. See, I told you, ain't going to be no place to hide over here. Let me tell you, if you're a Bundles Crockett fan, you're going to hate this broadcast. Because I'm just getting started. I'm just getting started. Believe me. All this fervor that she's speaking with, the white man. Okay, cool. I'm glad that you recognize the white man is doing all this stuff to us. What you going to do about it? Because you and the raggedy Bundles sitting up there, you in a position of power. At least for now. At least for now, because that's about to come to an end. I'm telling you, I know, I see it coming. She don't, but I do. Let's let it continue.
We didn't ask to be here. We're not the same migrants that y'all constantly come up against. We didn't run away from home. We were stolen.
Okay, so she talking about we didn't run away from home. We were stolen. First of all, we're not going to let that lie stand over here. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, Miss Bundles. We were not stolen. We were sold. Let me make this make sense in case there's any Pan-Africanists listening. Man, no, we were stolen. Oh, no. Hold on. Let's look at actual history and logistics, okay? Do you really think, because this was before that, you know, the Berlin Conference that carved up the 54 African nations with borders as you see today, do you really think that back then on the continent, before all these nations was, you know, formulated by the Germans with separating borders and all of that, that white folks could just come in there and sneak in and just steal hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Negroes from the continent? Do you really think that could happen? Or would it make more sense that, being if you know proper history, a lot of the different tribes that had wars over there between each other, they had captives. And their version of slavery was, okay, you could stay with that tribe for 7 years and then go back to your people, or you could marry into the tribe and stay. Okay? Now, what they did with a lot of their captives, they sold those captives. Those of us that do have lineage that go back to the continent, we are their descendants. Okay? Mixed in with the people that were already here who were black. Then, fast forward to the transatlantic slave trade, from them selling us, not being stolen. And words actually have meanings and they matter being used in proper context. When they sold us and we got over here, we had an ethnogenesis, brand new culture. Today we identify as foundational Black American freedmen. So this stolen stuff, that's not going to float. But you know, look, let me tell you where she's getting this type of rhetoric from, because we finna name some names here. Okay, at least a nickname. She's getting all of this from people like, you remember Big Bird with In Cobra, people like that. Oh yeah, don't think that these Pan-Africanists not up in these Democrats' faces, because they stay trying to get their little hands in the cookie jar too and get funding from them. Okay, and shout out to the good brother Philip Scott, because he recently covered, you know, a situation where before Jim Crow Joe Biden got out. Do you know that this man, to go to show you they got plenty of money for our reparations, he gave Stacey Abrams tank, that's what she looked like, a little old battle tank with legs. He gave Stacey Battle Tank Abrams a $1.9 billion grant to get energy efficient appliances for a small town here in Georgia. Now, if you look at the demographics of the town, it's not very big. It didn't take 1.9 billion. So by the time you got everybody appliances, you had plenty of money left over. What you do with the rest of the money? Well, you know what? Let me not pretend as if I don't know what Big Back Abrams Tank did with the rest of the money. She ate it all. She went on a fast food spree all across Georgia. Let me get the number 3, number 5, number 2, supersize. That's what she did. Big back, bored looking mother. Man, you know what? Let me stop. We're going to let this continue, family. Let's get back to it.
So yeah, we are going to sit here and be offended when you want to sit here and act like, and don't let it escape you that it is white men on this side of the aisle telling us, people of color on this side of the aisle, that y'all are the ones being oppressed, that y'all are the ones that are being harmed.
I want to make clear that when we hear the stories of the economic impact, these are stories that are impacting all of us. It's not just women. Unfortunately, we had an opportunity to have a woman lead this country, and I promise you she would have led us to the promised land. But instead, we got somebody that seems like he want to take us to hell and back again. Let me.
Okay, so now let's critique that, okay? Because, yeah, we're going to slow roast Bundles over here tonight, okay? Bundles, because she was referencing Kamami, okay, that, she was going to lead us to the promised land. I'm like, okay, now, see, this is the part right here. And a lot of women don't like this. But then again, there's some smart women out here that actually understand what I'm about to say. This is why a lot of men just do not trust women in positions of power. I don't care what race they are. We don't. Because there's nobody with any measure of intelligence that would think that cackling Kamami every 5 seconds, going off that drink Kamami, okay, hen dog Harris, nobody in their right frame of mind would think that this woman would right now, if she was in the position of Donald Trump today and had won the election, do you think that she would be handling Vladimir Putin, Zelensky, and all these other countries that Trump is putting the smack down on? Do you really think that she would have the balls to do that? Or do you think that she would be like, what can be unburdened from what has been? Here's a blank check. Come on in, illegal aliens. Do you really believe that? Lead us to the promised land. Have you lost your damn mind, Bundles? But see, I get it. I'm actually being somewhat hard on Bundles because she has plenty of them in her head, as you can see right here. And, you know, we recently discovered that some of these bundles have cancer-causing chemicals. And, you know, if you've got, you know, these cancer-causing chemicals up on top of your head, well, then surely your brain is not going to function in a correct fashion. So, you know, this is part of Bundles' malfunction. So maybe, just maybe, if somebody can snatch that weave off of her head, she might, you know, can be put into therapy and revert back to somebody with some type of actual functioning intelligence, okay? Perhaps, I'm just a theory. But Bundles isn't through telling us yet. She's got a lot more to tell us, ladies and gentlemen. So Democrats, I told you, we already got her on track. We already going to be like, you're dead on arrival. You're not going to come out here and get a majority of black people to support you. Sure, you'll get the hood rat class that like to flip Bundles like her. But see, the thing about a black America, fortunately for us, that's not the majority of our women. That's not the majority of our community, okay? It's not the majority, and you're definitely up the creek without a paddle. You're definitely up the creek without a paddle if you're banking on the Kaleidoscope community, the sassy Billy Porter squad to come out there because they less than 3% of the entire United States population across all demographics. Very small percentage of our community. So the hood rat class and the sassy class are not going to be able to save Bundles. Let's let it continue.
Ask each of the mayors, just yes or no. Have any of you been made aware of any immigrant that has had 34 felony convictions that has still been able to roam around in your cities? Anyone?
No, ma'am.
34 felony convictions.
No,
from the immigrants. Anybody?
I'm not aware.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious because we are so concerned about crime, and I know that my Republican colleagues would never want anybody with 34 felony convictions roaming around because that could be a danger to the community, but I will move on.
Okay, so now I let Bundles play that without interruption because I have an important lesson to teach to my sisters about this, okay? Because I want all of you listening I know I have a very astute, intelligent crowd over here when it comes to the sisters and the brothers, but I'm talking primarily to black women, and I'm saying this because I actually give a damn, okay? What you just heard her do, because she was talking to some of those mayors when they was talking about those sanctuary cities, and she asked that question. Now, all of us with sense know that she was talking about the orange man and his 34 felony convictions. Let me talk to my sisters for a minute. The hood rat class ain't going to hear what I have to say. They're not going to understand it, so it's not for them. But it's for any sisters that might think, because I get it, all types of people will come over here and listen to this. But any of you sisters that are hardcore Democrats that might think that Jasmine Crockett is doing a good thing, let me tell you why that's very unwise. You better pick up a book called The 48 Laws of Power. That's one of many, but I'm using this because it's most familiar with other people. Other books that would give you this information would be the Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi, The Black Art of War, you know what I'm saying, by Hannibal. But we're going to stick with the 48 Laws of Power, okay? Law number 19, know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person, all right? Family, Donald Trump is the sitting president right now, the commander-in-chief of the United States of America. Whether you like him or not, that's what he is. He has a billionaire buffoon, okay, right next to him. And some people say that he's the one that's really running the presidency. That's up for debate, okay, and I can't argue with that. And Elon Musk as his pal. When you are in a subordinate position and you don't have any power, it is not wise to keep running your mouth, antagonizing, which would be your boss and your superior, whether you like it or not, no matter what fantasy land you live in, where you think that your mouth is some type of shield. Don't ever emulate Jasmine Crockett's behavior, okay? Let me tell you something. Here's the alternative, what you do if you're in that situation. Because I've said this for years, your mouth is not power. And I'm talking primarily to our sisters. If you're in a situation like that and you oppose people with greater power than you, then that's when you have to make strategic silent moves, okay? Sometimes the most powerful position is one of silence. You understand? We've all heard the terms over the years in many different iterations and forms, okay? Power moves in silence. That's very true. When you're at a disadvantage, you don't antagonize without any type of strategy behind that. See, it's one thing if you run in your mouth and you know that, okay, if you try to do anything, I got A, B, C, and D lined up over here. She's just a congresswoman, and I said just for a reason. I'm going to tell you why. Yes, Congress is an important part of our government, okay? Important part. However, she's a black congresswoman. That means that you're basically being tolerated. I don't care how offensive that is. I'm going to make it make sense for the people that like, oh, why you say it like that? Okay. Is there anybody in here that thinks Jasmine Crockett has as much power as any Democrat white congresswoman or a Republican white congresswoman? Is there anybody in here that think that her word trumps theirs? Anybody? Because I know a lot of people that, well, they all equal, they're in Congress. Really? Oh, really? You really think that? Let me tell you something. I want people to really get what I'm about to say before we continue, because I want to make sure that our sisters with some sense that can be reached really think about what I'm saying about why she's not someone who you emulate as far as her being sassy and prodding and poking people that are in more powerful positions than you to the point where they turn around and step on your ass. Let me tell you something. Remember when she made that comment about Marjorie Taylor Greene? You know what I'm saying? That dried up, wrinkled up alabastress. Now, it was funny. I laughed at it myself. However, let's be real. Do you think that she made some white women liberal enemies when she did that? Do you think that she didn't? Do you really think that some of them liberal Democrat white women went like, okay, wait a minute now, Jasmine. She's a Republican, but she's still a white woman. Do you think that they went and told her that to her face, or they were just like, okay, oh, you one of these little nigresses that think you're too big for your britches? I'm just saying. See, I like to make my audience think. So, Jasmine. And I'm going to get to why I say that and mark that down in your book too. That's one of the reasons why I said that the orange man is going to boomerang back on her ass. And when it come, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be so cold blooded. A lot of y'all going to actually feel sorry for her. Even those of you over here in this chat. I'm telling you, I'm not, but I'm telling you, when it come, you're going to be like, damn, you called that shit. You see, let me further go into detail because I want my sister to pay attention to this before I continue with this. All right. You better understand when you antagonize a powerful enemy, okay, especially somebody that you nowhere near their level, just because they don't strike you immediately where you see it coming, that doesn't mean that you've gotten away with anything. No. The most powerful people throughout history, whether it's individual or empire, they make sure that when they get you, it come like a thief in the night. You're not going to see it coming. And usually it's going to be something that's torturous. It ain't going to be quick. It's going to be a series of humiliating defeats that they hand you over and over and over until finally when they get to that last step, they break you and hold you up in front of people to say, look, anybody else want to try this? Is there anybody else that like to fill this person's shoes and test me this way? See, y'all, boy, I need to take some time and actually put together a broadcast about how power really operates, because there's a lot of people running their mouth that think they know and they don't. I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to take the time to do that. Or I may do that on X and actually, you know, get a conversation going about how it operates, okay? We're going to have to do that because a lot of our people are not aware. Everything that I said just now, I mark my words. There's some liberal shillbilly that's shaking in their boots because they know that what I said is the truth. They know what I said is the truth. She is not smart doing what she's doing. We're going to let it continue, though, because I've got more evidence here. Get into it.
Congresswoman, do Democrats have the stomach to withhold votes from Republicans in order to keep the government open?
I certainly hope so. I know that I'm not going to vote for their proposal for sure. Here's the thing. Our strength...
Now, let me show y'all something else, too, because this is something that anybody that knows me personally, they'll tell you that I'm like, oh, don't do this if you want to be taken seriously in a professional setting. Okay, she can get away with the bundles, but look at these ridiculous caterpillar lashes she got on her face. And then I'm going to tell you something else that irks me with bundles here. The lashes are crooked. I know I'm not the only person that sees this. Y'all see this, right? Look at them lashes. If she bat any harder, she gonna fly up out that goddamn seat. They're crooked, and that make her look like a jackass, man. See, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, bro. I'm one of the brothers that if I know you and you a sister, I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you because I don't want you looking crazy, man. Look at these crooked ass lashes while she talking. It just look like an idiot, and she already on the wrong side of things, and she can't see that she's being used as a damn tool up here. And again, notice when they get her out here to go talk to the media, get these sound bites, ain't no white women beside her chiming in. She's the front flunky or the front mammy, as I'll call her. She's out front running her mouth and she thinks that she's important. Okay. All right. That's what you think, huh? Boy, when the crash comes, it's not going to be pretty. But I want y'all to listen to what she's talking about here. Let's let it continue.
Lies in standing together. And honestly, that is a message that not only applies to us that are sitting in the House, but that actually applies to Democrats across the board. The more that we can stand together, the stronger we are. Everyone knows united we stand, divided we fall. And so we were divided in the election. We can't allow them to divide us at this moment. I have reached out to my colleagues and asked if there are colleagues that are concerned. Talk to me about what those concerns are, because I want to make sure that we can provide cover for them if they have concerns and feel as if they are compelled to vote for this budget. But the leader is absolutely correct, and I hate the headlines that keep saying the Democrats may shut the government down. This isn't up to the Democrats, right? We're not the ones that are going to shut the government down. The question is if we will do everything to keep the government open. But right now they have a Trump trifecta. So when and if the government shuts down, it is going to be on Trump and his minions. It is not going to be on us as Democrats, because we weren't elected to gut Social Security, to gut Medicaid and Medicare, to gut USAID, to gut any of these programs that they're going after. We didn't. That's not what we campaigned on.
Okay, Bundles, you made your position clear, and boy, you determined to die on that blue Democrat hill. First of all, they need to quit telling this lie that the Republicans are talking about gutting Medicaid and Medicare and all this. They do that. Let's be clear. They do that to scare that boomer crowd, because that's about the only loyal ones they got left. That's what they do. And let's scare the old folks. All right, the Republicans, they're going to take your Medicaid and your Medicare. They coming. Now, as far as USAID, you damn right we want that shit cut, because our taxpayer dollars shouldn't be going overseas to nobody. I already made my stance clear on that. Anybody that get American tax and dollars as far as aid, there needs to be an equal trade-off. If we not getting some resources, some minerals, or So we got some type of trade deal with something that we actually need. What you getting our money for? See, that's another thing about why Congress is acting like they rule over our tax dollars instead of being public servants. I already told y'all in previous broadcasts, just like we get bills every month, we should get something in the mail come every month or email or whatever. Like, hey, do you support us using the tax dollars for this particular state or city, whatever, for this particular purpose? We should, if they're going to bother us with them bills, bother us with decisions about where our money going if you're taking it from us. That really needs to become the law of the land. See, yeah, they better be glad I ain't in charge, man. So now, as far as USAID going, this is what they're mad about and nervous about at the same time. Now, y'all know I'm not an Elon Musk fan, but I'm looking at things from a practical point of view. You damn right I want to know where our tax dollars going. And I want y'all to know where they're going too. You deserve to know where your hard-earned taxpayer dollars are going. And I'm going to give you a tool that I want all of you to go and study along with the Doge website if you're not tracking it every day like I am, because boy, it's just astonishing seeing where this stuff is going. Now, foreignassistance.gov, that shows you where our tax dollars are going in real time overseas. But Doge is more starting here on the home front and showing you what these different programs are. They got programs, I kid you not. Go look on the Doge website yourself. That's not the Doge website I put in there. That's foreignassistance.gov, okay? Want to say it again. But if you look on the actual Doge tracker website, the name of some of these programs, they got studies in the billions of dollars to study the effects of transgender mice, just all kind of foolishness, man. To the point where it's like, to be honest with you, man, we need to get these prosecutions popping, bro. I mean, I'm waiting on Pam Bunny to get busy. Her and Cash Patel, let's go. Dan Buns, okay, you in there. Hey, let's ride. It's time to get some, look, we need to see perk walks and charges. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to say this a certain way because I forgot I'm not on Patreon. The people that get caught stealing money and it's proven that they did, it need to be some Old Testament punishment for you, okay? That's about as far as I'm going to say it because, boy, I want to get a lot more descriptive than that, but it needs to be Old Testament punishment. I'm talking about to the point where it makes such an example out all the people doing it. I don't care if they're Democrat, Republican, black, white. I don't care what you are. If you got caught stealing taxpayer dollars, money laundering, whatever, and because think about it. Let me tell you why I take that stance, and I'm dead serious about it. Family, you think about all the times in any state or city where you look up and you see them talking about, well, we don't have enough funding for this, not enough funding for that. Oh, the funds are just not there. Okay, the funds are not there because people are stealing money. Bottom line, people are stealing money. That's what's happening. So if that's what you're going to be doing, you should be subject to the same penalties and laws as the common American citizen or civilian is if we were to steal money from somebody without authorization of us having access to them funds, and especially if we misappropriate them, okay? Should be the same thing. So like I said, we need Old Testament punishment. And bundles, I'm going to say it again, all of them that's making such a fuss about USAID, you would think that if they really cared about this country, they would be like, okay, we don't like Elon. Cool, no problem. This ain't about light. This is business. But we do agree with knowing where our taxpayer dollars are going, okay? I would think that you would, if you really are about doing your job, you really care about this country, you would think they would say, you know what? Yeah, that is good. We didn't know where this was going. Now we do. Hey, let's fix this. In fact, the business, let's make sure that this can't happen again. But see, if you close the loopholes where they've been stealing money, then half of Congress and half the Senate will be in prison. Half the Congress and half the Senate will be in prison on both sides of the political aisle, Democrat and Republican, okay? And see, I'm going to show you something. Both sides are just as guilty, and I'm going to tell you how you know that. To a smaller degree. Think back during campaign season when they started campaigning, especially during the presidency, all right, running for the presidency. Notice how all these campaign ads come out telling you all the dirt that both sides do, because they know what each other do. They right up there together doing dirt, okay? They just pull certain things out when it's politically advantageous, all right? Now, if you are one of these black flunkies up here in either side of the political aisle, left or the right, and you call yourself doing what white folks do because you think you special, no, they let you do just enough so that if they ever need to blame somebody, they'll tell everybody that you were the ringleader, huh? You remember that scene in the movie New Jack City? And for young people that haven't seen it, go watch the movie. It's a good one. It's a classic from the 90s. Remember the scene in New Jack City at the end where they had Nino Brown on the stand? He pointed out there and pointed to Christopher Williams' character. It was Kareem Boy. He's the head of CMB. He's the real head. I was just a member. Black folks up there in the political parties, that's exactly what they're setting you up for. They're going to let you do just enough, and then they'll get up there and flip on you and be like, hey, they're the brain mastermind of all of it. They made us do it. Because you know that's what they love to say. A black person made me do it. I mean, as ridiculous as it sounds, mark my words, a similar thing is going to happen. In bundles, I'm telling you, you better enjoy it now, boy, because the longer you run that mouth, and look, I'm going to be honest with you, even if she stopped running her mouth at this point, it's too late. It's too late, and I'm going to prove it, too. I got some more things to show you here. It's too late for her. It ain't no turning around for her, man. She done went too far. We're going to get into some more reasons why I say that, though. Let's let it continue.
Hey, y'all. So it's Rep Crockett, and I am a part of your rapid response team from the House Dems. I know a lot of you probably have questions about the decision that came down from Judge Tanya Chutkan as it relates to...
That's another name that the Orange Man is going to put the smackdown on. Tanya Chutkan, Fannie with the Mammy Willis, Alvin the Chipmunk Bragg, Letitia James, Jasmine Bundles Crockett, all of them in trouble, man. If they had any sense, because see, they think this shit a game. They think that playing with power is something cute. And see, I'm going to tie this in before I let this idiot continue. Today, they're acting just like the Tekashi 6ix9ines, the Charleston Whites. Oh, ain't nobody going to do nothing. You know that crowd. They've turned into trolls where they think, oh, I can just sit up here and play these games. Hell, for you forget you black. I don't care how many white folks that you think you cool with. You not one of them. Yes, you have the title Congresswoman, but you don't have the complexion for the protection. Mark my words, she gonna learn the hard way. Let her continue.
Reining old Elon in. I don't know if y'all had a chance to keep up with what was going on, but let me get y'all up to speed. So first, the lawsuit was brought by various Democratic attorney generals throughout this country, and they were suing because they say that the powers that have been exerted by Elon Musk are illegal. Okay, let me just insert this really quickly. I absolutely agree with them. They know what they're talking about. But what happened is the judge said, listen.
Boy, look, I gotta be honest. You can tell you dealing with an idiot because they always start rolling their eyes. And then y'all remember what I taught you about that when people start rolling their eyes up in the air while they trying to talk to somebody, especially looking at the camera, they trying to pull a lie at the crack of their ass or something that don't make sense. Making up bullshit as they go along, okay? Remember, Commandment did the same thing. And she's sitting up here with these goofy ass lashes on her face looking like a damn anime character. That shit looks so ridiculous. I'm sorry. But everything she's saying, I want you to listen to it because I'm going to make a point as soon as she finishes.
I've got grave concerns, which I think she's signaling and saying this foolishness that Musk is up to, it must stop. To the extent that the White House and the DOJ are like, oh, Mr. Musk, that Mr. Musk. Oh, yeah. By the way, yeah, he doesn't have any power. Yeah, that's what they're arguing. So I don't know who's lying, but somebody lying. And I hope it's not these lawyers under oath, because one thing that Donald Trump doesn't control is actually these bars that give us our licenses, okay? So in short, the Trump administration basically says that Elon Musk is nothing more than a glorified pool boy. Just a little errand boy who's out there to, I don't know. Really, it just seems like they just like to play at Mar-a-Lago or play wherever they play together. I don't know. They always together because, you know, Elon. Anyway, that's all the issue. The reason that I believe the attorney generals were having a hard time meeting the standard as laid out under the law, where they could say that there was imminent and irreparable harm that we were about to face, is this idea of we don't really know what they're doing. Because Elon still ain't came in to see us, right? He ain't came in for no oversight, right? And when we went to go see what they were up to, remember, every building we've gone to, they have somehow decided that we were going to be locked out. Now, that don't sound strange. I mean, if you over here and you doing everything to help the people, then why won't you let the people that actually oversee all of this, why don't you want to let us in? I personally believe that ultimately
if they continue down this road, that they are going to lose in this particular court. But as of right now, because they just all over the place and nobody knows what Elon is up to or not up to, because they talking out of both sides of their mouths, she was like, I can't give you the temporary restraining order. But hopefully we can get this case resolved quickly. Hopefully they can engage in some form of discovery so that we can discover what you been up to, boo.
Okay, now I let Bundles, and I know y'all had to suffer through that. I let Bundles run her mouth because let me make a point, okay? Oh, Bundles, now you were insinuating in that clip that we played there that, you know, they're trying to hide the amount of power that Elon Musk has. Now, if you know that and you suspect that, because like she said, I believe you're an idiot, Bundles. That's what I believe. But if you believe that he, you know, has all this power and they're hiding it from you, you just said in that clip there that he apparently has the influence to block you out of certain buildings. Now, family, you think back to what I said earlier when she was making certain comments about when you're not in an advantageous position and you poking people that have more power than you. Do you really think that's wise? Do you really think that a lot of little insults she's been throwing at the sitting president, mind you, it would be one thing if you just did it towards Elon, but even then that would still be not wise since he has influence over the president that we can clearly see and his cabinet. You think that it's wise for you to keep doing this? Because see, when you look at Bundles here, okay, you see the left image without all the foundation and the ridiculous unbalanced lashes and the magic market on eyebrows. And then you see version over here on this Instagram where she had that filter on looking like a damn ghost monster or some shit. You know, man, do you really think it's wise for her to carry on this way when all it takes is for them white folks to sit down and say, we're going to make an example of you? And again, I have to remind you of this. Why you don't hear none of the white women saying the same stuff she's saying? See, think about it. If Jasmine had any sense, instead of thinking that she's the smart one, ask yourself this. Why haven't you heard other white women talking about any sitting president, Democrat or Republican, the way she talking? Think about it. They'll get up and voice their opinion and object to stuff and say things a little here or there. They're more subtle with it. But why you think they're not as bold as her? It's not because they can't do it. That's the most privileged and powerful woman in America. No, them white women are smart enough to know that, hey, it's certain lines you don't cross with these powerful white men. That's what they know. But see, Dum here, she think that she's special with these little goofy Instagram filters. That's another thing. The woman is childish in the mind. Ain't nothing like some old boy, crusty Democrat or Republican attack mammy that's jumping on Instagram using filters like you a child. You supposed to be a congresswoman, a stateswoman. This isn't how you carry yourself. And you really think that you running your mouth is going to put you in some type of position over people like Donald Trump and Elon Musk? Because if you just say that out loud, maybe that's what some of these delusional people need to do. Just say some of the silly shit that they're doing out loud and be like, does this look like it's going, you think this going to end well for you? Oh yeah, I'm going there. Remember, we're not done though. I want y'all to analyze some more what Bundles got going on, because so far I'm building a case here, because in a minute, I'm going to show you exactly what I was talking about. The reason why I say it's over with for her. All that other stuff with her mouth could have been let slide, but she actually attempted to do something that a lot of people forgotten about that I'm going to remind you of. Let's continue.
So I just wanted to jump on really quickly. First of all, to say thank you. My staff is really excited that we are over 1 million. So trying to figure out if this is my actual account. It is. Me and TikTok, we was beefing, so I wasn't posting anything. But
and see, that's another thing, okay? Because she said this is on TikTok. My apologies. I said Instagram. Either way, she got the filter on. And shout out to my good brother Black Alpha Network for this clip. Me and TikTok, we were beefing. Now, why you talking like that, Jasmine? Because like many people have pointed out, that's a pseudo ratchet accent. Me and TikTok, we were beefing. So are you trying to talk to the people with intelligence that are voters, or are you trying to talk that hood rat crowd? Okay. Man, I mean, because only she knows for sure. But either way, it's not a good look to be up here doing this And see, you haven't learned to read the room. Shout out Joy Jobless Reed, okay, because she's got plenty of time to reflect on her nonsense, okay. Congolese tether that she is, a little tether winch with a little bullet head. But Jasmine, you didn't learn to read the room either, because see, if you would have learned the lessons from the previous devastating defeat of the Democrat Party in its presidential election, that was America telling you no. Break it down even further. Black America was telling you, we don't want fucking buffoons talking to us, representing us in any aspect, not political, not academic, okay? Definitely not economic. We don't want buffoons representing us, but you still presenting yourself like a buffoon, and you thinking you're going to garner up some type of support to help them gain some seats in 2026 and then possibly try to put your stupid ass out there to run for the presidency. Let me tell you something right now. When the orange man leave office in, the next 4 years, okay? And if J.D. Vance decide to run, and I already made my prediction, if Tom Homan does a good job of dealing with the border thing, he may run as vice president. But I'm going to throw something else out here I foresee possibly happening. Remember, Donald Trump has sons. Oh, yeah, I'm going there. Yes, I am. You really think that J.D. Vance, because I know they're going to put Vance out to be the front runner to run for the presidency, but you really think it's out of the realm of possibility if they don't choose Tom Homan, because they may leave him if he decides to stay on in Borders-Czar position. So let's just say he doesn't run with J.D. Vance for vice president. You really think that they're not grooming Trump's boys, Eric, or none of the rest of them to run for the presidency, a vice presidency, along with J.D. Vance? Because that's how they will have to do it. They'll have to run Vance, and then one of Trump's sons run to be the vice president. You really think they wouldn't win if this loudmouth idiot was to run? And then because with Jasmine, because they're not going to be stupid and put two black people up there running. And they damn sure would be fools if they chose two women to run. That'll be, boy, they know America has not advanced to that point yet. But you really think that they would put Jasmine with the equivalent of what was his name there? See, I forgot his name. Waltz. What was the Joker's name? The first name, Waltz, the little goofy that was running to be Commandment's vice president. Tim Waltz, yeah, Tampon Tim. How could I forget? Yeah, gotta go to show you how you just forget about them once they get trashed. But let's just say they put her with a white man like Tampon Tim to run, and the ticket is J.D. Vance and one of Trump's sons. Okay, the older ones. Now talking about Barron, because they grooming him too. You better believe it. Oh, they grooming Barron. You think they're not? I'm telling you. Mark my words, we have not seen the last of a Trump presidency. We've seen the last of a Donald Trump being in office, but Trump, as far as his family, oh no, they're going to be involved in the higher echelons of government for quite some time. All they got to do is manage these 4 years, right? This is why it would be very foolish if Donald Trump even decided to pardon the federal charges of Derek Chauvin. Don't do that. If you're smart, you better be trying to gain more voters outside of your already established white supremacist voter base. Let's just call it what it is, okay? The greater majority of them are. Not all, but a lot. Enough to say most, all right? So now, that's exactly what I foresee happening now. Is there anybody that thinks that that's out of the realm of possibility, those scenarios I just gave you? Really study when you see Donald Trump up there and look at who we have around him. You think, Bruce, that's another, oh my God, that's another one right there. That would strategically just blow Jasmine Bundles out the water. His oldest daughter. Good point. If they did decide to go ahead and lean towards trying to make the women in the Republican Party feel like they're more involved, they would run one of Trump's oldest daughter. I could see that happening. And I'm going to tell you right now, I just got to see it. If that happened, it would be over with. And think about it. They had Trump's daughter running with J.D. Vance in a vice president position. Yes, it's over. You're done. They don't have anybody, because who you going to run? Hakeem Jeffries? Get out of here, man. Look, America is not trying to see idiots or sassy folks in positions of power. We just not for the office of president. No, not at all. They have learned, though. They're the smart people, though, and she's going to educate us on just how smart they are. Let's let it continue.
I have two official accounts. I have this one, and then I have the one where we will do everything that involves my videos from the house and that kind of stuff. But I wanted to jump on really quickly and say, number one, happy Sunday. And number two, before I caught my flight, one of my friends sent me a message. Now, I've decided to turn off all my notifications on all social media because clearly some people are just getting a little too rowdy. And honestly, I don't have time for that, right? Like, we are losing this country at this moment. So I don't really have time for all the BS that people decide that they want to post when they literally are not relevant. If you, for whatever reason, can't really see what's happening, then that's kind of a you problem and not a me problem. So I'm not really trying to hear from you. Anyway, so one of my best friends sends me this thing, and it's from Dr. Stacy Patton. And I must say, I'm kind of in love with her at this moment because I had no idea of some of the drama because, you know, MAGA.
Now, I want you to just listen to how this woman is sitting here talking on TikTok, okay? She talking about stuff that people are critiquing her on. First of all, Jasmine, you're a public figure. You're a sitting congresswoman, okay, as of now. You shouldn't be more concerned about what people are saying personally about you online. If you look, let me just go ahead and lay it out and go to show you why this woman is not intelligent and she doesn't have any intelligent advisors or handlers, okay? Instead of you jumping on TikTok to rebut personal things said about you, which is another weakness why a lot of people don't trust women to be in positions of power. Just got to call it what it is. And I'm talking about the majority of America. Just got to say it. If you really want to quell what people are saying about you personally and you a sitting congresswoman, let me tell you what I would advise Jasmine to do if I was an advisor to her and she was paying me. I'll be like, listen, Congresswoman Crockett, don't address nothing they said about you personally. When you go live on your TikTok or social media, you need to be talking about what you're going to do for the American people. Start with Black Americans, okay? Because you're a Black woman. Start with talking about what you're going to do for the American people, specifically Black folks, as far as tangible policies, economics. We need to hear about that. You need to show people that you're not concerned about personal beefs going back and forth online. You're more concerned about doing your job as a congresswoman to the fullest extent that you can to the best of your ability. That's what I would advise Jasmine to do. Huh? And who's to say people hadn't tried? Because, you know, she like, her and Tiffany Hinger have a lot of commonalities, okay? They share a lot of distinct traits, which is why I call them the political hood rat class. Same attitude, same arrogance. I want you to study that. Y'all do a contrast and comparison on Tiffany Hinger and Jasmine Crockett. Compare how they're more alike than different, okay? One was a mayor, one is a congresswoman. Same delusional ego, same inflated, you know what I'm saying, sense of self-importance with power that you really don't have. Very foolish, okay? And boy, I'm gonna keep an eye when they run them charges on Tiffany Hood Rat Hingard. I want that bitch to go to prison because I don't play stealing from my people. I can't stand that. I don't give a damn who do it. Black people work too hard for their money in this country. But see, I want you to listen to this woman and you tell me if you would be comfortable having this woman as a sitting president of the United States of America. You in charge of the nuclear launch codes. Why you rolling your head and flipping your bundles everywhere with these goofy ass lashes? You really think people trust you to deal with these gangsters on the world stage like Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, Kim Jong-un? Huh? What you gonna do with them? Let's talk real for a minute, fam. Let's cut the bullshit. What is this little moron gonna do besides run her mouth? And then think about it. When you the president, as we all know, you are commander-in-chief of the armed forces. We don't need some emotional, temperamental, childish bitch in office. And when I say bitch, I use the term in an ambidextrous fashion. I call men and women bitches. You don't like it, tough titty New York City. We don't need some temperamental, emotional bitch in office that because you get offended, now you are deploying American troops and say, look, let me just go ahead and call it what it is. If Kamami was in charge right now with this Ukraine-Russia thing, this fool would actually have us in World War III because they can do it. They would just go ahead and deploy troops over there to that region. Do you know what a disaster that would be for us? Do you know how costly that would be for us? Have y'all, look, I'm not trying to scare anybody. As a retired combat veteran, somebody that understands war on an intimate level, do you know how disastrous that would be for us? Do you understand what would happen the minute that Russia found out that American troops was over there on the ground prepared to fight Russian soldiers? What do you think that they would do? I'm going to see how smart my audience is. What do you think Russia's first move would be? I don't know. I'm going to have to be careful with saying this, but I just want to see if the chat room can guess this. what do you think would be the first move that Russia would make if we put American troops on the ground? I'm going to help you out. Do you think that Russia would just stick to fighting a ground war with the troops in the region? Or do you think that Russia would do something more long range? Now, I'm going to see how well y'all been paying attention to my broadcast. If you're on Patreon, you already know what I'm hinting at. Or do you think that Russia would exercise an option with more range, being that they have the edge in this technology? How many of y'all know what I'm getting at? Tony said we would get drafted. Oh, yeah, that would be a possibility of high casualties. You better believe it. Black Truth United. Yep, that's a close one. Cyber attacks, they already got that going on. I'll say this. It wouldn't be quite nuclear, Tony, but I'll go ahead and say this much, and then I know I'm going to have to leave this topic alone because they'll start messing with stuff. What they would do, they would start hitting us, launching the cyber, the hypersonic missiles that they have. Because let me tell you why, in case anybody isn't aware of that technology, Russia has the worldwide edge on that. There's no system on the planet capable of shooting down their variation of hypersonic missiles. We don't have any defense system capable of knocking that down. We're talking about something that breaks the speed of sound, okay, the sound barrier. I could see, because look, let me tell you something. And I'm really going to have to leave it alone after this. But you can't really go into detail about this kind of stuff on YouTube. But I'll say this. You really think that Russia doesn't have strategic placements in place just in case the United States tries to do anything like I'm talking about as far as putting our troops on the ground in that situation between them and Ukraine? Now, you imagine a fool like Jasmine Crockett or Kamala Harris in charge of that don't have any military background, sitting on there flipping bundles. I'm the president. We gonna go ahead and put the troops on the ground. Fuck that whole Putin. Imagine how that shit would go. Don't you know Vladimir Putin would be doing the Birdman hand rub? They'd be like, oh, they done got this dumbass. Like, come on, try me. I'm waiting on you to do that. Now, you think about how many lives would be lost because of that type of recklessness and that emotional stupidity, making decisions just because you in charge. Remember, Tiffany Henry, that y'all got to learn. I'm the leader. They want to hear from the leader. See that abuse of power? I put a thread together, and those of you on my Patreon, y'all read that thread that I tried to detail why abusing power isn't a good thing. Study that thread very well, because I'm telling you, man, people like this fool here that get up here playing. You know what she remind me of before I let her continue? I'm going to tell you what I see, family, because I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm talking about what I literally see. You know who this fool remind me of, her and Kamami? They both remind me of Smokey from Friday. Remember what Craig told him when he got into it with Big Worm? See, that's your problem. You run up and down the street all day playing. Ain't nobody playing but you. That's what they remind me of. Female versions of Smokey in political office. Everybody playing. Ain't nobody playing with these dummies. This is serious business we have to handle in America right now. Don't nobody want no damn Smokey in charge or nothing without this performative nonsense. Yeah, that's the way I see it. I want y'all to let that resonate on your mind as we continue listening to this fool. Let's get back to it.
Always mad. They stay mad. That's just what they do, at least when it comes to me. So I guess they've really been digging for dirt, and I don't even know what dirt looks like. I guess it's the opposite of what we would think dirt is, right? Because it seems like if you say cheat on your wife while she's pregnant with a porn star, that's not dirt. It seems.
See what she doing right here? Again, look at this fool sitting up here on this TikTok with these filters on. You are steady prodding the sitting United States president, talking about his personal affairs. You black, Jasmine. I know you've forgotten about that. You black. When the folks come at you, mark my words, and it's kind of sad, but I'm not going to feel anything for her stupid ass, because too many of these people in both political parties have had this happen to them for them to not learn from it, from previous people's mistakes or bad decisions, shall I say, because it's not a mistake. When the folks come for her, if they find some charges about some money missing, some taxes not paid, whatever the case may be, or it might be something they'll be like, you know, we're just going to be petty and just throw whatever stick at the kitchen sink stick at you. Huh? Just throw the whole kitchen sink at you, see what sticks. He put Pam Bundy on her ass. You thinking the Democrats going to step up to defend this fool? You sitting here taking these personal jabs at this man now. You better think. And look at your boy Jim Crow Joe Biden. When he left office, he didn't pardon your ass. He didn't pardon no black people. You ain't think about that, huh? Did you, Jasmine? Like, she was one of the main ones up there caping for his little crackhead son too. See, when I say that this woman is stupid, just like Kamami, I'm showing you why I'm saying it. You understand? And see, I got to point this out because I don't want young black women looking up to this type of stupidity. And I damn sure don't want the older women in the community thinking that this is somebody that you need to be proud of or emulate. Let's let it continue.
Like if you are found liable for sexual abuse, that's not dirt. It seems like if you're indicted in 4 different jurisdictions and you ultimately are found guilty of 34 felonies, that's not quite dirt either. It seems like if you file bankruptcy 6 times, that's not dirt. It seems like if you what else? Yeah. If your companies get in trouble because there's a badass AG by the name of Tish James that comes for you and your companies because of fraud.
Don't she sound like a child instead of a sitting congresswoman? Yeah. That's what she sound like. Yeah. Listen, I don't have no love for the orange man. I'm not defending him. I'm coming at it from the standpoint of this is very stupid to antagonize the sitting president, one that's known to retaliate against his enemies. Jasmine, your dumb ass forgot. There were attempts on this man's life. You think it's wise to be sitting your stupid ass up here mocking and playing with this man? You seen what he do to white folks, and you think you're going to be exempt from that. Okay. And she talking about badass Attorney General Letitia James. Who has more seniority? Letitia James or Pam Bundy? The top cop, huh? Very stupid woman here, family. Very stupid. Let's let it continue.
That's not dirt. But it seems like now what is dirt and what is a conversation, as people don't know whether or not the government is going to stay open, as people are losing their jobs, whether they're government jobs or private jobs, as...
By the way, while you talking about everybody in all these jobs, you were the same sitting congresswoman with your little bundles and lashes talking about people couldn't use $5,000 if these Doge artists were to ever kick back refunds. You said that, Jasmine. Just keep it in mind.
People don't know whether or not they're going to be able to afford food, as people don't know whether or not they're going to have assistance to get food. It seems like...
And see, this is why being a stupid woman that runs your mouth and nobody check you, this is why that's a bad thing. Because again, all of this mouth running that she doing, talking about things that people couldn't afford, you turned around and said that people, what you gonna do with $5,000 if you don't have no job? That's what I had said, as if you cleaned it up. So you telling me that if all of this stuff happened that people can use $5,000? See what I'm saying? See, this is why. And look, the Democrats know this too. That's the cruel joke about it. They know that they can pick these little goofy mammies and send them out here and just let them run their mouth, because all you got to do is boost up their ego and make them think they're important, and they just talk without thinking. And then when some shit come back to bite them in the ass, whether it's public backlash or political backlash, they looking around stupid like chickens with their head cut off. And the white women that sit up there and boosted your dumb ass up for that, they're not going to help you.
Like, the most important thing that people can figure out to talk about is what? Oh, let me help y'all. The most important thing that they can talk about is my quote unquote accent. My accent. Yeah, I don't have an accent. I mean, if anything, it's Texan, right? Maybe mixed with a little bit of St. Louis. And then determining that my accent is fake because of the types of schools that I went to. Like, seriously, y'all, like, honestly, I guess that's what's most frustrating, is that there's nothing to find. Because if there was, I'm sure they would have already laid it out for sure. But if the worst that you got to say is that, yes, I went to private school, I'm just saying, it's a bad day for you. Because, you know, just yesterday, I was just this big DEI hire. And now they're like, well, wait a minute. She's too qualified, right? Like she went off to these fancy schools and then she gets out and she talks this way. I talk whatever way I want to because, yes, I do have the education. And I've got the heart. I've got the heart to fight for the people. That's why I ran for office.
And mind you, family, this is why we often say in these spaces that education is not equivalent to having common sense, because she don't act like she have any common sense. I pointed out several stupid things that this woman has done here in this program tonight. Several that most people in here will be like, yeah, whether I agree with GPS or not, yeah, that's pretty stupid to do the things that you've seen her do. So bragging about education when you don't exercise common sense, that's not a flex. That's an embarrassment. But you know what the crude joke is? She's too stupid to realize just how stupid she actually is. That her cohorts and peers are making a fool out of her. Again, main thing, no white women are coming out here making TikTok videos, co-signing her, talking in the exact language that she's talking about these specific people, naming names, poking fun at Trump about his convictions. Them white women got better sense than to do that. Notice that. And I'm talking about the liberal ones over there. Notice they're not doing it. And she the only one. But she got all this education, huh? Let it continue.
So the only thing that you're laying out is that, no, I didn't have to run for office, just like a lot of other people didn't have to run for office. You've got people that run for office for various reasons. Some people are selfish and nothing but slime balls, and that is why we have a lot of things that are broken. That is why right now we're sitting around and it's a little broken, because we got slime balls that decided that they wanted to run for office, or we got a bunch of spineless people that are sitting in office. And I am still the bleeding heart liberal. Yes, I said it, the bleeding heart liberal that actually cares and believes in this country and believes that we all deserve the opportunity to live in what supposedly is the land of the free and the land of opportunity. When I get jaded, that's when I'll quit. When I'm kind of just over it, that's when I'll quit. Until then, just stay mad, because clearly y'all ain't found a bootleg husband. Y'all ain't found a bunch of baby daddies. Y'all ain't found any types of crimes, because Lord knows y'all would love to throw me in jail really just for existing. Not that that's what we're supposed to do, but you know, whatever. So I just wanted to come on and shout out Dr. Stacy, because I had no idea that they had now gotten mad because the worst thing that they found is that I went to private school. And I don't really understand what the problem is. Anyway, everybody have a great Sunday.
Okay, bundles. All right. So she told us, didn't she? Oh boy. And notice during that entire time she was talking, she didn't stop rolling her eyes and rolling her neck and all that. Now you imagine this fool on the world stage talking to those leaders that I named. Xi Jinping, president of China, for life, by the way. Okay. Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un, okay, North Korea. Imagine her on the world stage trying to talk to any of them. Hell, I'll start right here in the local region. Imagine her trying to deal with President Sheinbaum down there in Mexico. She wouldn't have taken the stance on that border that she would, they would be best friends. Bring all your illegal aliens up here, dumbass. She wouldn't secure that border at all. She would continue with that Democrat agenda and have us flooded with more anti-black illegal aliens. I guarantee you that. So now, when you listen to everything that she was just saying there, okay, you think about how her tone was. It's like she think everything is a damn joke. This is why I equated her to Friday, the Smokey from Friday, okay? Now does it stick? Now do you see what I'm saying, family? For those of you that might, you're like, oh man, I don't know you reaching. No. We're not done with bundles yet, though. Because see, all that stuff that she was saying, in fact, the business, hold on. Before we do that, I want to play something that she said right at the end of this. Hold on, let me take it back just a little bit. I'm gonna play something real quick that she said at the end of this, and because I want to touch on this, because I really want to drive this point home. I want you to hear it again from her before I actually say it.
Believes that we all deserve the opportunity to live in what supposedly is the land of the free and the land of opportunity. When I get jaded, that's when I'll quit. When I'm kind of just over it, that's when I'll quit. Until then, just stay mad, because clearly y'all ain't found a bootleg husband. Y'all ain't found a bunch of baby daddies. Y'all ain't found any types of crimes, because Lord knows y'all would love to throw me in jail really just for existing. Not that that's what we're supposed to do, but you know, whatever. So I just wanted to come on and shout out Dr. Stacy, because I had no idea that they had now gotten mad because The worst thing that they found is that I went to private school. And I don't really understand what the problem is. Anyway, everybody have a great Sunday.
Okay, now I ran that back real quick because I wanted you to hear her say that phrase. Oh, they had got mad. They had got mad. She sounds like a fifth grader talking about who get mad. No, the people critiquing you are doing so because your ass is incompetent. It ain't about got mad. They had got mad. See, I want you to understand why they put this woman out here to talk this way to us, okay? Because they look at, the Democrats look at black people as big overgrown children that have the right to vote. That's how they look at us. So they talk to us in terms like you would talk to a child or somebody on a playground. When people critique your dumb ass, Jasmine, it ain't they got mad. They had got mad. No, they're like, listen, this is incompetence. We don't want this representing us. And I think I can't remember the brother's last name that's running for her seat that's trying to challenge her. I think it's Sheldon Daniels. I want to say the last name. You know what I'm saying? That brother, hey, listen, she might have some competition. You know, he better get his ground game together. Now, one thing I would suggest to that brother, you better start coming over here talking to the black grassroots. You better start talking to the people, man. Don't be standoffish, man. If you really want to get her seat, you better come over here to Black America and talk to people and find out exactly what you would need to actually help you put you over the bridge and actually get her jackass out that seat, because she does need to go. Let's be clear. And not only does Jasmine Crockett need to go, I'm going to tell you this. In Black America, because I'm talking to my people, we definitely need to get to a point where we don't elect any more Tiffany Henry's, no more Jasmine Crockett's, no more Hakeem Jeffries, no more none of these bootlicks in either political party, but definitely not in any position. I don't care, mayor, governor, whatever. No Stacey Abrams, no none of that. If you display, not just because they're women, let me be clear, not just because they're women, but if they display this level of political immaturity and incompetence, no, we don't want you in charge of a damn thing representing our people. You are not qualified. You understand? Well, I should cue up old woke white Wendy. Y'all remember her, the Chinese lady? You are not qualified. Well, she was telling a commandment to this, you go home. Just go home. You know what I'm saying? Boy, I should have queued it up, man. But my point is this. We have to get to a point as black people where instead of just, well, they look like me. No, fuck that. Let's put up that political record. Oh, you voted no against this that would have helped the black community? Okay, all right, let's look. Okay, oh, you voted no for this too? Oh, but you voted yes for these illegal aliens to get funding where they can stay in lavish luxury hotels? Okay, cool. No, don't worry about it. I don't even need to hear your campaign slogan. I got all the information I need. We're going to make sure that your ass don't get in office. That's what we got to start thinking. Grown political adult business does not include emotions. It's not about like, don't like. It's about, are you qualified or not? That's where we got to go. But see, we're not done yet. I told you, I'm going to thread some needles here. I want to show y'all something else because we finna get into now why bundles, boy, this is something that she attempted to do and it was at the wrong time. And a lot of people have forgotten about this. Let's get into it.
From churches to schools to city councils to parking lots, people are pushing back against this administration's attempts to harass and arrest immigrants in their communities. Today, Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett was part of a group of lawmakers that introduced legislation to protect immigrants in sensitive locations. Congresswoman Crockett says in her district, kids are already missing school because parents are afraid of being arrested as they drop their kids off at school. She says families are also skipping doctor's appointments and even emergency care that they need because they're afraid of being arrested at the hospital. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett joins us live now. Congresswoman, it's really nice to have you here on the show. Thank you for making time.
Absolutely.
What should people understand about the rationale for protecting places like schools, churches, synagogues, hospitals from immigration enforcement actions in the past?
Yeah, I mean, here, this is very simple. First of all, I don't know my country anymore, right? When we are looking at situations that are so disruptive to our communities, and again, as you talked about the hero who wasn't necessarily wearing a cape, but instead had her coffee cup. When we think about the disruption to everyone because of something that really is a civil penalty, I want to get this across to your viewers, because I don't think that people understand that as Republicans.
Now, let me pause this right here. Family, for those of you that were here at the beginning of the broadcast, did we not have an immigration attorney and the current Attorney General, Pam Bondi, lay out that it is a crime to come here illegally? Did we not do that? I put it that way for a reason, but yet this attorney with these goofy bundles and them crooked ass lashes sitting up here is telling you that it's not a crime, it's a civil offense. That's what she's telling you now. I just want to make sure that I remind you of that. Let's let bundles continue.
Oftentimes say things like, oh, they're illegal. They're illegal. According to federal law, you literally can get a traffic ticket that is more serious than what this is. It's a civil penalty. And so to have these guys disrupting you as you are trying to pray, whether you're an immigrant or not, you're disrupting a place of worship. Or tell me about what type of liability, I mean, even if you don't care about the people themselves, but tell me about the type of liability that we may face if somebody literally is trying to seek care and then you take them away from that care and into our custody, right? Like, it doesn't make sense, not to mention the disruption that it causes for everybody else that's seeking care. And now we're talking about the kids. We're talking about parents not taking their kids to get the education that they need, and the kids may be enjoying something that we call birthright citizenship. Yet they're missing out on school because their parents are too afraid to drop them off. And the final point that I'll say is I want people to understand that undocumented folk in this country contribute approximately $100 billion in taxes, and they pay into Social Security that they can't pull down on. So,
and you know what else they do, bundles? Okay. They also send remittances out of this country that don't come back into this country. Oh, that's what they also do. So why she running down what all they do while they here? Illegal aliens, by the way, not undocumented, with them crooked ass lashes. When you send remittances out this country, that's not money that's coming back into the investment of the American economy. That's outside the economy. See, let me tell you something. A lot of people gonna hate me for this. Boy, as much as I can't stand Elon Musk, little anti-black racist South African ass, what I do with people that I look at as, you know, adversaries or what have you, I still look at how they can be advantageous or useful in a sense to our community. I would be like, hey man, you need to get Doge on finding out how much money we losing in remittances every year because of all these illegal aliens over here. Oh boy, he's MAGA. Watch, oh boy, they're gonna be. I knew you were MAGA. No, I'm not MAGA. I'm just for actually getting to the bottom of where our money is going, so we can get these reparations figures together. Like, don't tell us you ain't got it. Cause look, I'm gonna tell you right now. Oh, this really gonna piss off the tether class. If those was to tabulate how much money is being sent out of this country with remittances, that right there alone would be a good start in reparations. Imagine if we didn't have these people over here sending money outside this country that don't ever come back. Huh? Oh, yeah, I'm going there. Anyway, we're going to let bundles continue because, see, the more talking that she does, man, the more you're going to see why the Democrats will be very foolish that they attempt to put this woman out here to run for the presidency. Let's let it continue.
you tell me how any of this makes sense, because the estimation is that it would cost us approximately $200 billion in the first year to try to effectuate this. And we know the Republicans are proposing that ICE be given approximately $350 billion. And right now that's causing a lot of consternation within the Republican caucus. And that is why we are headed to a shutdown on March 14th, because instead of cutting money, it looks like they are absolutely going to need more money.
Let me ask you also about the impact, as a representative from Texas who's been right in the middle of the culture war over this, but also who represents a very diverse district. It strikes me also that with some of these changes, not just saying we're going to go after people wholesale and not just making it into a big propaganda spectacle and inviting celebrities and, you know, hand-picked media to go along to make it look like an episode of Cops. But in addition to that, by going after, saying we want to go after people in schools and in places of worship and in healthcare facilities, the cruelty there and the impact there is to really...
Let me just stop this little old hard to look at alabastrous Rachel Maddow. Okay, let me stop this heifer. All right. Rachel and Bundles, I don't give a damn if they go and drag them off toilets. I want them out if they're not supposed to be here legally. I don't care where they catch them at. Okay. Grocery stores, churches, schools. I don't care where you at. The only exception, I'll be like, okay, if they're in a hospital or they're getting surgery worked on, okay, as soon as you patch them up, wheel them out. Go ahead and patch them up and come on, let's go. You're going to do the rest of your coalescing over here in your country. That's where you're going. Boy, better hope I don't never make friends with Tom Homan, boy. I'll be like, hey, Tom, let's have a conversation, player. Because y'all know me. Y'all know what my dream is, to eject, and yes, I said the word eject, these illegal aliens up out of here. Y'all know me. I would have to stomach actually talking to Elon and Trump, and I would have my good buddy Tom Homan with me, being that, you know, we had a conversation. I'd be like, listen, guys, there's a quick way that we can get at least the ones that come from Mexico out of here, okay? Y'all know where I'm going with this. Y'all know my dream, okay? I want to see my industrial catapults, okay, erected, so that we can just load them up and keep the families together so that we don't break up families and fling their asses right back across the border. I'm serious about it. That is my dream. I'm telling you, I'm not playing. I want to see catapults at the border, okay? Big, giant catapults. I'm talking about, man, put your ass in there, pull, just see you flying to the point where you just, you know how in the cartoons, man, where they let them fly, and they flying off into the horizon where they just turn into a speck where you can't see. That's what I want, okay? Get out of my country if you're over here legally, especially if you're anti-black. If you weren't anti-black, I probably wouldn't feel this way. But we'll never know, because the greater majority that come over here are anti-black. So I say catapults. Y'all laughing, man. My catapults need to be made reality. Listen, Elon, I know that we've got, you know, weird odds, but Elon, you need to create a Tesla catapult or a SpaceX catapult. Yeah, a SpaceX catapult with some boosters on it, so we can fling their asses back across the border, okay? Hey, my brother Tony got the right idea. The Looney Tunes Acme company got them in stock. Hey, look, we need to get Elon with Acme and go ahead and create the SpaceX catapult. And look, we got to give it a name. If catapult is too offensive, illegal immigration removal system. There you go. Yeah, you call it that. There's a more professional illegal immigration removal system. Okay. Yes, there we go. So anyway, I digress. Bottom line is, while she's up here with Rachel Maddow, and they got her up here interviewing her like this, mark my words, even this is gonna come back to bite her, and I'm gonna tell you why in a little bit here. Let's get back to it.
Isolate immigrant families or families that have mixed status so that they can't participate in the fabric of culture the way they do right now and in the basic fabric of services that we all avail ourselves of, so that they are more isolated, so they are more afraid, so they don't feel supported by their fellow Americans and the other people who live among them. I wonder if you think that is the aim, and if so, if there are other things that Americans who are not in immigrant families, people who do not face these same kind of threats, if what they can do to kind of bridge that distance.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's that, but I think it's even deeper than that. What we've seen out of this administration is nothing but chaos and confusion. That is how they, quote unquote, lead, right? And so here's the deal. Whether it's legal or whether it's not legal, it has the same effect, right? So he decides, you know what, I'm going to make a big spectacle out of getting rid of this executive order. And then next thing you know, we're having to file legislation to try to protect. But who's keeping up with all of this drama that's happening? At the end of the day, it's whatever news headline they saw last or first, or whichever one they feel most comfortable with. And so right now what we have is that they have been able to inflict fear. This is why you brought up Texas, and this is going to impact Texas a ton, as well as the rest of the country. But even when we start to think about the farms that we have in Texas. Or we think about the fact that he even tried to do his little tariff war with Mexico. Mexico and Texas, we share a very special relationship for a lot of different reasons. But one is because they...
And see, this right here goes to show you that Bundles isn't looking at anything other than, I don't like Trump. I don't like Trump. Let me tell you something. Now, I'm against the tariff situation up there with Canada. That can be worked out in other ways, but we see that, you know, there was a deal made on that too. They did rescind the tariffs on the steel or what have you to get Canada to put a halt on putting tariffs on those power companies for those northern states up there. And by the way, that's a ridiculous thing. There should be no American cities relying on Canada for power, electricity or what have you. That's silly as hell. But there have been some agreements made or arrangements made with as far as that with Canada. Now with Mexico, I agree with the tariffs down there because look, let's be honest, man. The white folks are really invested in this because that's one of the main areas where all this fentanyl is coming through, and that's knocking them off. They already having struggle birth rates and everything, so they can't really afford to ignore that. But the reason why I agree with it further, hey man, we don't need that crap up here because you know why? Even though it's mostly them folks that's using the fentanyl, it's a very small percentage of black folks stupid enough to use it. When they go get high off that shit and start running around, that means we gonna have to deal with their asses. Because unfortunately, some of us are in close proximity to these people. So yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, man, you gonna have to get Shine Bomb down there. And it's funny how she got that name. You know what I'm saying? I like, boy, Shine Bomb. That's not a Hispanic last name or a Mexican last name. But I digress. Shine Bomb, President Shine Bomb down there. Yes, it's time for her. You want to be president? Well, you need to get your country in order. Rein them cartels in and stop accepting kickbacks from them. But that's a whole nother program for another day. I know what I know. I know what I know. If you're on Patreon, you already know what I'm talking about. Anyway, she's not thinking about why Trump put the tariffs on Mexico in particular. Now, that was actually smart. I know a lot of people don't agree with that. No. And I get it. We get some stuff from them. But I'm going to tell you something, man. They don't give us nothing that we can't do without. No, they don't. To be honest with you, for all the do for self people, now's the time that everybody should have. I'm talking to everybody, not just Black America. America as a whole should be about do for self. We should manufacture as much stuff at home and get back to made in America. I remember back in the day when I was a kid, you used to see made in the USA on a bunch of things. Now we all know where everything is made now in damn China somewhere. Very rarely do you see made in the USA on anything. We need to get back to that and stop being dependent on all these other different people. And see, we're going to see how serious the Orange Man is about all these factories that want to have all their labor over there, you know what I'm saying, so they can exploit cheap labor. I'll be like, okay, you can never do business in the United States again. And then instead of trying to withhold funds from Black people, open up programs, lineage based, where we can fill those voids and get some of these businesses popping. But see, you know what I just said is too much like right. A lot of them are probably scared to even think about that. But hey, if you're talking about pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps, why not do that? All this stuff that you're giving Elon as far as these government contracts and subsidies, you need to spread that out to the Black community. But like I said, that's too much like right. Literally, pun intended, because I'm talking about the right wing here. But anyway, we're going to get back to Bundles here because Rachel Maddow is actually setting her up for something. And I'm going to point it out when we get into the next segment here.
Are our biggest trade partner as well. So now we've got all of these farmers that are saying, hey, my farm workers are not showing up. It's not just the schools, the hospitals, and the religious institutions. It's actually everywhere. They are afraid to go to work, and that's only ending up causing more issues for us as Americans. And that's what I need people to understand. This isn't a matter of, oh, well, that's over there. This impacts all of us because, again, we are a country of immigrants. And the fact that we have so many...
There it is. There it is. Rachel Maddow let her stupid ass get that crap out and then interject. This is not a country of immigrants. It's a country that you attempted to flood with illegal aliens. That's what it is. But this is not a country of immigrants. That's something a lot of the tether class love to let roll off their tongue. It's a nation of immigrants. The hell it is. Bullshit. My ancestors built the foundation of this country. There was no America till we built it. This is not a nation of immigrants. A bunch of y'all asses are over here for the tether class and the anti-Black ones. but you don't really benefit this nation, especially if you sending remittances outside of this country. See, I look at everything from like the logistics standpoint and do it make sense or not. If we have a deficit to pay down, we need as much revenue to stay here in America as possible. And we need to cut off all that foreign aid to everybody. I'm saying everybody. Hey, man, if you ain't got your shit together after years and years of foreign aid, well, then goddamn it, you just ain't going to get it together. Let somebody else foot the bill. Go get your aid from the UK or somewhere. We don't need to be kicking out no more blank checks. Look, I'm going to tell you something that pissed me off. Earlier today, I don't know if a lot of you were paying attention to the happenings because I monitor things on a geopolitical level. They reached somewhat of an agreement with Zelensky, Biden's little boo thing, where, you know, they had cut the intelligence and funding off. Well, unfortunately, family, they've earmarked $1 billion and now the aid is back flowing and the intelligence is back flowing. They should look, see, Trump, man, I look, that's other people getting in Trump ear, man. Trump, goddamn it, your little orange ass need to stick to your guns on that. You had Zelensky right where you wanted him. Now, I would have let me tell you something, man. If I was advising Trump as far as that Zelensky and the Ukraine thing, I'll be like, listen, man, the way he came over here and showed his ass, nah, you need to say, even if you was going to start aid and intelligence sharing back up, I'll be like, nah, you're going to see just how much you do need us. Because he was right. He was like, you don't have the cards. You don't. He told him right. You can't win this without us. And look how short it was before Zelensky got his mind right and started begging for aid again. And now that he see what Trump was telling him, I'll be like, no, player, if you show your ass in my face, I'm going to let you suffer for that. I'm like, hey, go on over there. You got it. You came over here talking like your chest was all puffed out, like you had it all figured out. I'm sitting here telling you don't have what you need to win. So now you need to feel what that feel like when we don't get involved with no aid or intelligence sharing. Because I'm going to tell y'all right now, regardless of any type of weapons you have, the most important thing to have accurate on a battlefield is information, intelligence, okay? So, yeah, I don't like that, man. I ain't going to lie, man. The orange man, it still need to be a pause on the money, okay? And look, this is what I would have told him. I'll be like, since you showed your ass, no more money, but we'll consider sharing intelligence with you. Now, in that situation, currently, they're trying to get to a point where they have the Ukraine sit down and get a ceasefire with Russia, because you can't begin negotiations on anything else in wartime until you get a ceasefire and both sides stop shooting. Never can you ever have a negotiation while people got live ammunition flying towards each other. Doesn't work that way. But that's what the latest goings on are with that. And see, again, imagine if Bundles was in the position to deal with Zelensky. Oh, she would have been buddy with him. How much you need, boo? Rolling her little lashes and bundles there. Well, like, bitch, go over there Ukraine with him then. How about you do that? Anyway, let it continue.
Many people that either don't know our history or want to ignore our history, or as we know, this administration, especially in Black History Month, they want to delete our history. The reality is that immigrants have always been what made this country great, not this white supremacy.
Do you see how disrespectful that shit is this bitch just said? And yeah, I'm saying bitch, I'm gonna say it many times as I feel I need to say it. Immigrants have always been what made this country great, so never mind Black Americans. Now, you see why I showed you early in the broadcast when she was like, the white man this, the white man that. The white man did this and did this to my aunt. Okay, well then, if you really felt that way, how the fuck are you gonna tell me that immigrants are what make this country great? So just never mind Black Americans, huh? Of our lineage. Do y'all want this representing us? Talk to me. Do you want this with these bundles and lashes and that air between her damn head to the point where every time she rolled that neck, you could probably hear like a rock shaking around like in a damn Coke can? You want this representing our people? Talk to me. I want to know. You free to answer however you want to answer. I want to know. People in my chat room, would you like this? Look, let's just go ahead and say it. Let's just go ahead and just throw caution to the wind and entertain this ridiculous notion, because I'm going to say it out loud so that people actually see how silly this would sound. Who in here would be comfortable in this country right now if this was President Jasmine Crockett? Yeah, go ahead and really think about that. President Jasmine Crockett. Who in the chat room would feel very comfortable about the security of the border, the economy, you know what I'm saying? All the day-to-day issues that we as American citizens have to worry about. Who in here would be confident that President Jasmine Crockett will be able to work it out? President Jasmine Crockett and Vice President Jamie Harrison with his little dainty ass. Little sugar boy. Or Hakeem Jeffries. Or Corey Bussey. Or Cory Booker, as we call his name is, but we call him Corey Bussey. Can you imagine? Come on, man. Boy, ain't no way, man. I ain't gonna lie. That just make me angry thinking about it. Because I'm just not one, as y'all, look, in case you new here, I am not one that brooks incompetence, man. I have a really low tolerance for that when it's right in front of my face. It's one thing to be genuinely naive or something, but to be willfully ignorant, like Bundles here is doing all this little sister girl and all this good stuff she got going on. Man, this is what they trying to position you to tell you. Yeah, look at her. She flips her head. She talks with an accent. She should be President Jasmine Crockett. Man, Democrats, if you try that, and I hope they do, because it'll be the end of the Democrat Party. See, look, Democrats, in case you haven't figured it out yet, you don't have too many more political blows that you can take. This election really did put your ass on life support. I don't think y'all realize that. You make just one more grievous political error with idiots like this out front, your party is done. And I hope you do. Oh boy, I hope you do. See, I should have had the meme up here of even Drago from Rocky 4. If he dies, he dies. Because that's exactly what's going to happen to that Democrat Party. Go ahead and put this bitch out here in front if you want to. Just let it continue.
Agenda, which is what we are dealing with, and this is what they are doing. They are instilling fear, whether you are black, whether you are brown, whether you are someone who just wasn't born here. It's kind of like the birthright citizenship. That is something that we find in our Constitution, and he decided, he probably knew that with the stroke of a pen, he couldn't do anything about it. But guess what? He caused confusion and he caused angst, and that is what we're going to see more of.
Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, anytime you want to come on this show, you just send up a little bat signal and we will make space for you. I'd love to have you back here anytime you want to talk about what's going on in Washington, anytime you want to talk about what's going on in your district. I really appreciate your time tonight.
Thanks so much.
Talking about anytime you want to come back on the show, just send up a little back signal. You're welcome to come back anytime. Little old manly looking alabastrous Rachel Maddow. Listen, man, I let that play so that you could hear how incompetent that woman is. We got to tighten up about who we allow to represent us in this government. When she get, because hopefully the brother Sheldon Daniels, I think that's his last name, hopefully he can get her out that seat. Hopefully the mayor position up there in the city of Dalton, the brother that replaced Tiffany Henry, hopefully he'll do the right thing by the people, because we don't need no more Jasmine Crockett's. We don't need no more Tiffany Henry's. And I'm talking about whether it's male or female. They all got to go. The bootlicks must go. I'm going to show y'all something, though, and I'm going to play this without interruption. I'm going to show y'all who I wish would take Jasmine Crockett's seat, but she's not, a resident of Texas. But I'm going to show you an example of the types of sisters that we do need in Congress or mayorships representing us or governors, whatever the case may be. Because a lot of people are probably saying, GBS, you said a lot about why you don't want women in power, this, that, the third. No, remember I said, I don't want these types of women in power. I'm going to play the type of woman that I would be fully confident supporting if she was a person on city council, mayor, governor, and she probably gonna, know what I'm saying, get after me when I say this, but I'm proud of this sister because she does good work and she's representing her community well. I'm gonna show y'all exactly the type of women that we need in positions of power representing our lineage. Check this out.
So I want to look at this. It's a group of 27.
Oh, and before we get here, I almost forgot something. I jumped the gun on that. I forgot to show you this right here, too. We're going to review this. Hold that thought. Because I'm going to get to the person. It definitely ain't Harris Faulkner. I know y'all like, oh, my God, GBS, what you mean? No, it ain't Harris Bedwinch Faulkner. Hell no. I forgot about something because this is something that I put in here to show you why Jasmine Crockett is in trouble with Donald Trump, okay? Now, I want y'all to listen to what Harris Faulkner is about to say because this ain't the one now. Hell no. I forgot that this segment was before but I was telling y'all, because we're going to get to the sisters that should be representing us. Okay, we're going to get there. But I want y'all to listen to this report. I'm not going to even interrupt this. I want them to be clear on what they're saying. I want y'all to really listen to it, because this is where Jasmine Crockett is going to be in the most trouble with the orange man. A lot of people forgot about this shit. I didn't. So let me be clear before I let it play. I am not talking about little old dry wig Harris Faulkner. I don't know if that's a real hair or not, because, you know, when they get with Zaddy, they just suck all the life and flavor out of them. So she is a bed wench married to a white man. So it's not Jasmine. It's not Harris Faulkner. Not her, okay? But she's about to make a point about this, okay? So I'm going to let this play, and I want y'all to absorb this. Let it continue.
Texas lawmakers and candidates for office who wrote a letter calling for one state Democrat, Jasmine Crockett, to resign. They say it's because she co-sponsored a bill in April that would have removed Trump's Secret Service protective detail. And that bill was introduced with veteran Democrat, or by, Benny Thompson, who yesterday was defending the bill. He said in a statement, "My bill would not have affected the Secret Service's presence during this tragic event." The bill aims to automatically bar Secret Service protection to anyone sentenced to prison for a federal or state felony conviction. Well, that's why that bill slid in, because it was right around the time of the 34 convictions against Donald Trump. Not only would it have affected that, it affected him. It would have affected him. It was aimed at him.
Benny Thompson was also the chair of the Jan 6 committee, I'll just point out. But I wonder if they feel the same way about Hunter Biden and pulling his Secret Service detail away, as he's a convicted felon. So we didn't see any push there. Look, this was partisan politics.
Well, he still has that protection.
Of course he does. Yeah. Of course he does. This was partisan politics at its worst. At a minimum, they should publicly apologize. They should call President Trump and apologize. I think we should put censure on the table personally for these members. These are people's lives on the line, and the detail should be commensurate with the threat. As members of Congress, if we have our lives threatened, we can go get additional security. But this is part of the vitriol and the demonization of President Trump personally and his MAGA supporters that came directly from President Biden's mouth all the way through the Democrat Party. And clearly one 20-year-old was so convinced that he tried to kill him.
I want to just ask my team if they can pop up real quickly. I'm sure you've seen some of that video that shows that there was a gunman on the roof. Yeah. I mean, and you're seeing it all over social media. We've got a little bit to show. I want to get your take on that, because it appears to show that there were several minutes before shots were fired that this whole thing could have been foiled. It's on the screen now. What is your take? And I know you're studying this because this will be part of your investigation, I would imagine, on the Hill.
Well, number one, what happens, the core security detail is supplemented by local Secret Service field offices, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, what have you. I want to know how Vice President Harris being in Philadelphia near the same time affected resources, but also were supplemental resources requested? Were they denied, like these agents were telling me, and therefore made them reliant on local law enforcement? You had one cop standing on that roof, and the sniper couldn't get up there. And then I could tell you, as a Green Beret, he was in what they call dead space as he was coming up that sloped roof. And the counter snipers, I don't think, just looking at the imagery, could see him.
But people on the ground could, and those local cops could hear those people.
And as soon as you call in gun, 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 the president's off the stage. That's how it should have worked. So we have a lot tactically to work out, but I give nothing but credit for his close-in detail that body bunkered him and put their lives on the line. I suspect strongly this was a headquarters resource issue who said, we're not going to get all these agents for all of his rallies. We're not going to exhaust our budget because Trump wants to run around.
And I would imagine the punitive damage for that person would have to be you lose your job. I just wonder if there's any justice.
No accountability for Afghanistan. No accountability for Secretary of Defense disappearing. I don't expect accountability.
So you just went right away to international. Let's go there. My exclusive interview with former President Trump at his home in Mar-a-Lago. As you know, it aired, or happened rather, just hours before an assassin tried to kill Trump. So we were together for hours. Then a couple of hours later, he was already in Butler, Pennsylvania, and we know what happened there. One topic we talked about was foreign policy, specifically our staunch ally in the Middle East, Israel, and its war with Hamas terrorists. So Israel versus Hamas, the terrorists. Biden has said he'll deal with Hamas. And there has to be a different way. And I don't hear him talking about the hostages, so I want to bring them into the conversation because those lives, those 120 or so.
Obviously, the first thing is we want our hostages back. You have to let this war finish out. It's got to get finished. It's got to be done. Because otherwise, this is going to continue to happen, and it's going to happen more frequently. You take a look at what Biden has done. He's run it so badly. He's trying to be friendly to one side. He doesn't know who. He doesn't know what he's doing. Look, let's face it. This would have never happened. They would have never attacked. This is money that came from Iran, and they fed Hamas. They feed all these terror groups, Hezbollah. Iran was broke when I was president. They were broke. There was no terror. There were no attacks. Take a look. You can check the facts. Iran was broke. They are the purveyor. They are the ones that finance terror. They finance terror. If China bought from Iran oil, which they were buying a lot, I said, that's okay, you can buy, but you're not doing any more business in the United States. We go cold turkey, no more. Israel would have never happened. The October 7th attack would have never happened. Again, Iran had no money. It wouldn't have happened. And they had a certain fear of me, or respect, or fear, or something.
That interview, by the way, was over an hour long. So you'll begin to see more and more of it. And so we move into foreign policy. The president and I covered so many topics. You were nodding at certain points there. What's on your mind?
President Trump nails it. The core of the issue is Iran and Iran's cash. And as long as they're flush with cash by selling their oil, they're going to continue to fund Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis. This will never end. We have to go back to his maximum pressure campaign, which dried up the cash. And if China keeps buying them, we put secondary sanctions on China. And I guarantee you they'll stop buying Iranian oil. It is all about obsessed with humanitarian aid into Gaza because of his progressive left. He's treating a symptom, not the core disease. And President Trump absolutely knows what worked, what would have prevented this attack, and what we have to go back to.
Well, and what President Trump said to me was, while you're putting that pressure on Iran, it gives time for Israel to go ahead and finish the job on Hamas, which he told, and viewers got to see that portion of the interview yesterday. He feels very strongly that Israel needs to finish what
Under
it's
his administration, we had reporting from Hezbollah, Hamas, all of them, that they didn't have any money. They were all complaining that where's our money from Iran? We can't do anything, right? That's the core issue.
Representative Michael Walsh, you bring so much. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Good to see you.
All right, so now I let that play in its entirety. And y'all saw at the beginning why I told you that it was going to be a serious problem with old Bundles Crockett, because she was all involved in them trying to strip that man of his Secret Service protection a month before that happened. Now, am I saying she had anything directly to do with it? I hope not, but I know how white people in his party are looking at that. You think they're going to let him forget? See, let me tell you something, man. Let's go here. Never mind the rest of the Republicans, okay? Never mind any of them people in the Republican Party. You know who not going to let Trump forget that Jasmine Crockett had something to do with that, or attempted to? Donald Trump's wife, his sons, and his daughter. That's who not good. That's who she, man, I'm telling you what I know, not what I think. And see, also, I let that play in its entirety without interruption, because like Trump or not, he did have the strategy to contain the terrorism from Iran figured out. You cut off anybody's money, they're going to have some different decisions to make, okay? Now, when Biden got in there, they were like, whoo, thank God. Oh, boy, now we can get busy doing everything we need to do to get all our little components set in place to start doing what we used to do. Oh, they love Biden. Let me tell you something, man. They love Biden. They wish he was still in office right now. Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong, they were like, man, can you please go? That's why they were hoping Command went. Look, remember Putin was even joking about congratulating her when she won. You remember that little joke Putin made? Oh, he wasn't bullshitting. He was for real. He was like, boy, if you get in here, I'm finna run the table, on the world stage. So, that's one thing I will give the Orange Man credit for. He understands that, hey, man, let's cut the BS. You want to give us problems? Let's go after the money. Very smart, okay? So, again, two things there. Jasmine attempted to vote for this man not to have Secret Service detail. And you saw how Donald Trump plays the game on the world stage. He gets straight to the point. Like, oh, okay, I bet you understand when this money dry up. That's the universal language, one of the universal languages everybody understand. If you don't understand violence, you understand when somebody cut off your money. You definitely get that. So now I want to get to the part that I'm going to also play without interruption. This is the sister that I would recommend take Jasmine Crockett's place, or I would be comfortable if she ran for city council or congresswoman, mayor, whatever in her city. These are the types of sisters right here that we need representing us. I want y'all to check this out.
To the commission, you were set up to fail. Other commissions had executive directors, staff, research, and legal teams, and this one, you weren't even allowed to speak to each other before being sworn in. Does that include relatives, or is that a conflict? Anyway, if you know the law, you know that this bill and this commission is a time-wasting, heel-spinning joke. More democratic symbolism over substance. Why pass a blatantly illegal, unconstitutional bill, then use taxpayer funds for a commission? Commissioners may not be getting paid, but other staff and researchers are. Race-based compensation will never become law. And this isn't just a valid point, it's constitutional law. And as we have seen with the overturning of DEI and affirmative action, labeling it African descent doesn't change its race-based nature. Legislators can pass bills, but that doesn't mean they'll survive legal scrutiny. Legal scrutiny like Ed Blum, who is laser focused on knocking this bill down. The Freedman Project went to legislators and told them that they got it wrong. They told them they wanted it amended. They told them to repeal the existing bill currently signed into law. The Freedmen came in hand with a constitutional bill with the recipients based on our legal status as freedmen. They went around to different legislators and the Assembly and State Senate. They talked to them, they sat with them, they sent letters and phone calls, but due to what I can only assume is the inability of legislators to see themselves benefiting from this legal bill, we faced what we always face in this country, except this time it's from skinfolk, proving in action that they aren't the kinfolk of the FBA freedmen. How telling is it that we're getting the same treatment as we have with other legislators who don't share our skin? How does this free us? I guess the legislators would be unqualified to tell us, or they are purposely sabotaging our reparations because they do not have a bill that's worth a hill of beans. So there may be only 44 million of us, but we are 44 million who are used to fighting. And I don't mean to sound pejorative, but we are 44 million who don't run from a fight. Foundational Black American impact and influence, our presence over power is so effective in fighting that people immigrate here from all over the world to benefit from the fruits of and the gains of the civil rights that we fought and died for. Since this bill is already deader than a doornail, I come to speak before my neighbors. I come to serve you notice that when this bill dies, we, the FBA freedmen, will remain standing and fighting as we have for centuries on this land drenched in our blood. And in closing, include in your report that this bill is unconstitutional and illegal and isn't worth the paper it's written on, and you know it. Have a good day.
Thank you, Brooke. We appreciate your testimony.
Man, listen, I am so proud of my sister Brooke, man. That's what it means, family. That right there is a prime example of a woman speaking from not a place of ego or arrogance, but speaking from a place of informed confidence and intelligence, okay? These are the types of women that we need if you're going to speak up and use your voice, use it for your people. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Yeah, Sister Brooke, I know you probably going to get word of this, sister. I got to give you your flowers. We need more sisters like her that are examples for our young foundational Black American freedmen women to say, okay, yeah, that's who I want to grow up to be like. You understand? And let me tell you something, man. I know, mark my words, that political parties are looking at that sister right now. I know they are. They're going to be trying to come after her and try to offer her stuff because they were like, oh, listen to how she sounds, how she speaks. You know what I'm saying? And look, I'm going to tell you something. That sister is rock solid. She's loyal to our community and our lineage. So, yeah, good luck trying to get her to sell out. That ain't going to happen. But look, watch this. Look, Brooke, I already know you probably going to get at me for this, but I got to take the temperature with my audience. Right now, family, I want you to light this chat room up with the fire sign emoji. If Sister Brooke was in your city and she was running for city council, mayor, hell, governor, would you support her? If you would support this sister running for any type of political office to represent our community, our people, put the fire sign in the chat. I want to see something real quick, because we need to let these people know that come over here when we have sisters like that speaking. These are the ones that we would support if they were actually going to be chosen from amongst us to represent our people. Sister Brooke, if you ever see this broadcast, I want you to look in this chat room. People burning it up, man, because we need to point to her and say, no, don't give us a Jasmine Crockett. Don't give us a Kamami out here. We want sisters like that. And it's very important that when we see them stepping up and speaking with that type of courage and intelligence, representing our people, we have to let them know that they're supported. So kudos to you up there. New York is blessed to have you, Sister Brooke. They definitely have a hell of a fight on their hands. And we need more sisters like that out here, okay? So, family, I think I made my point here tonight with this broadcast. Thank you to everybody that contributed to the broadcast. Got the best YouTube subscribers in the world, in my opinion, best Patreon subscribers. And we're going to be getting into other subject matter here, and we're going to keep our eye on how they use bundles, because this is what we must do across platforms and across generations. When we see threats to our community, as far as like in either political party where they're trying to run a finesse on us, it's good for us to get out front of it and go ahead and make sure that the community knows that, nah, your paperwork is bad and you ain't going to get no support from our community. So you may as well choose somebody else, okay? With that said, remember, we're a great and mighty people. We can do anything. We're on code, and we exercise that ability with a purpose. So remember that always, and make sure you put it into practice. Salute to you, Black First, and I will see you all in future content.